guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Dirt Drive Podcast. We are up here in the holler with one of your favorite guests from last year, Abe Wine.
How you doing? What's happening?
Back up here. We had a day scheduled. We talked about it in a future episode.
Yeah, way future episode.
Yeah.
About how we had a whole scheduling conflict and things happened. Guests canceled. But one guest didn't cancel, and that's Abe Wine.
Hey, how you doing? Yeah.
What have you been up to, man?
Work.
And Tom's also here.
Yeah, Tom's here.
Right.
But he's here, but he has extra.
I'm like 7/8 here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Still dealing with.
I would say
the broken
9/8. You got extra pieces.
Yeah, you got extra pieces, so you're like,
back. That's fair.
yeah,
Still muddy paw prints from your dog on it too.
Robo Man over here. Of course, I hadn't heard about this, and so when you guys pulled up, I'm like, what the?
Oh yeah. It's recent.
It was supposed to be a bit because they recorded on Saturday, and I listened back to the episodes. They didn't mention anything of it, but you breaking your back was supposed to be a bit originally.
Oh.
You said it was going to be.
I don't know. I was focused on our. Is this before or after Christmas?
This is before Christmas.
Okay, never mind that.
So then now, people listen to this. I was talking about a bit that never happened.
Yeah. No.
Now it makes no sense at all to anybody.
That's the point.
It's actually continuity is not our strong suit.
I can tell.
Yeah, it's our bit actually.
Yeah.
That's the bit within the bit.
Yeah.
It's a future past bit.
There you go.
Yeah.
So what have you been up to? You had a busy year.
Pretty busy. Yeah. Still, working on the truck for Shawnee Springs Market, and I have like very limited time to get it done. Yeah. The problem is I agreed to do Trail Hero this year, and Angie's Jeep wasn't done. I mean, it kind of was, but it wasn't. Like mismatched, gear sets, like because it was
perfect.
it was running like a Dana 30 up front, but then I did like a Dana, the rear Dana 44 was bent. So then I was like, oh, this is my opportunity to go to 411 since we're running on 35. So then swap that. But hey, guess what? We're still on 321s up front.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah. So
it's all right. You just do the SEMA special Bluetooth drive shaft.
No, not you can't do that.
or
Trail Hero.
run drastically different size tires.
Yeah. No.
Mud truck style.
I wasn't going to be that guy at Trail Hero, which that's one good thing about out there. Is you don't see any. That's not a thing there.
Yeah,
that's definitely a SEMA thing.
Yeah, you need a front drive shaft to sand.
Yeah. So basically, the good old marketplace provided. There was a guy that had a brand new front 44 housing for a JK.
Okay.
Never been installed, and he wanted like $600, I think.
That's pretty good.
I drove 4 hours to get it, but
I mean, sold. I drove the furthest I've driven was 5 hours for a slip yoke eliminator transfer case.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I was like $100.
Yeah.
But yeah, worth it. I'll drive all day for deals.
That's what I figured. Yeah, so I did the math and like gas. Altogether, I spent $700, and
That's worth every penny.
yeah, it was 4 hours one way, so then 4 hours, so 8 hours on the road.
You could have come right back up here and flipped that 44 for $2,000.
Yeah. So already a brand new empty casing. Got the sleeve kit and the sea gussets and all the fun stuff. And since it was already parked, just drilled holes in a brand new housing.
Make it stronger.
Yeah, it sleeved it and all that, and then. I gotta give a shout out to East Coast Gear. Those guys took care of me. I was last minute trying to get this thing together to go out there, and every time I called down, I'm like, hey, I need this.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, okay, no problem. And they had chromo axles in stock where I'd called some other people, which Tom and I had this discussion before about warehouse distributors and their their awesomeness sometimes.
Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, they hooked me up, so I got to give a shout out to them, and they got it going and got it in there, and then drove 2,200 miles to Utah.
Sounds about right.
And your 2,200 mile drive was not easy either.
Yeah.
No. So of course, I linked up with some people we all know. Tommy.
Yeah.
Baja Blast, as most people know him.
Twin stick crawler.
Yeah, twin stick crawler. Yeah,
he's
twin
got
stick crawler.
the blue buggy.
Yeah, Baja Blast buggy, as he calls it. And so he was coming out. Matter of fact, we were supposed to leave at like 6:30 that morning, and I was running way behind. And about 7:15-ish, he texts me, first blowout, still on 66. And I'm like,
oof.
Geez, dude. He goes, trailer tires that blew out. I'm like, dang, going. Well, I was smart. I put brand new trailer tires on my trailer before we left because I already know how that game goes. But I I was still running way behind. Even with that, he still made it way ahead of me. And then Alex from what's his name on Instagram? I think it's like Built JL. He has that red JL that Moto Built did a few years ago.
Okay.
Really built. Like,
I don't know if
it was
I
like the
haven't seen that one
first aluminum half doors. It was a prototype vehicle.
nice.
They used cage, like Bender went all out on that thing, and he was coming out of Pennsylvania, so I ended up getting behind him, and we hauled butt. We ended up catching Tommy somewhere in Arkansas, but the only reason we were able to do that is because Tommy ended up blowing out 2 more tires.
On the trailer?
God.
Yeah, on the trailer.
Christ.
So then I think somewhere in Tennessee he stopped as Alex and I are trying to catch up, and ended up getting like all new tires put on the trailer. She's like, I'm not going to keep doing this. I was like, yeah, it's going to get expensive if we keep doing this.
Roadside's way worse than
Yeah.
just buying tires.
Oh, I got worse than that. We ended up,
Oh, no.
oh, dude, it was a rough trip out, like no joke. So got through that. We all made it into the Arkansas rest area. I think I got there at like midnight, which is just on the other side of the Mississippi. So we park, we sleep for like 4 or 5 hours. We get up early because we're like, all right, we got another long day of driving. Somewhere in like Oklahoma, middle of Oklahoma. I love doing that bit, like Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, Oklahoma. Anyway, sorry.
Oklahoma was our favorite stop on the way to SEMA.
Yeah.
We stopped in Gore, Oklahoma, and had the best breakfast of our life.
Yep.
Nice. Well,
Pancakes were delicious.
we didn't get that. I get a text because we were in a group text, and Tommy goes, "Hey, I hear this weird sound coming from my front end." I'm like, "What does it sound like?" He goes, "It sounds like a squeaking or something. It's speeding up," and I speed up. I was like, "Oh, that's not good."
So it sounds like you've been driving in 4-wheel drive for 1,200
Yeah.
miles.
No, so we fought.
He's
we're
got
in
a Ford, right?
Yeah, he was in his 2005
Yeah.
Power
Okay.
Stroke. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was in a 2006 4-door Power Stroke. My uncle's that we had just. This will come into play later. Like 18,000 miles ago, my uncle had went through his 6.0. Literally from the block up was brand new heads from Ford, brand new updated, ARP head studs, head gaskets, every oil pump, everything. Like over 10 grand invested in this motor. Anyway, we'll get to that part. So we're in the middle of Oklahoma. Tommy hears this noise, and so we pull over, and I'm like, "Hey, that thing's really hot." He goes, "Yeah." I was like, "Yeah." I said, "Jack it up." As soon as the jack where the tire came off the ground, you watch the tire almost like fall off. Wheel bearing completely gone.
Yeah.
So it was like, all right. Alex dropped his trailer, which he was pulling a big trailer. He had 2 rigs on his. So he drops his trailer, goes to find a parts store that somebody had in stock. Meanwhile, Tommy and I tear it down real quick. By the time we get it off, we wait a little bit. Alex comes back. We slap it back together, get everything back together, and we get back on the road. So it wasn't too bad. We only wasted, I think we were under 2 hours.
Damn.
So we did really
pretty
well.
efficient.
Yeah.
And probably most of that time was waiting for the parts store run.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was probably a
basically,
long run for the parts
it
store.
really was because we all had tools. We all had tools with us, and matter of fact, I had electric. He had electric impacts with him. I had we were just zip, zip, zip. But we get that back together, and it's like, all right, cool. So we ended up in where did we end up? I want to say it was Amarillo, Texas, that night.
Sounds about right.
So we made it all the way to into Amarillo. Like it was like midnight. No, he had something else he did. Oh, his alternator quit charging. He said,
Oh, my God.
"Yeah, Tommy's alternator started." He's like,
really
"This
selling
thing's-"
the Fords here.
Yeah, I know,
for
right?
real.
Yeah, Tommy's like, "Man, this thing's messing up." I was like, "What are you talking about?" Because it's only charging like it just shy of 13. I think the alternator's blah blah blah. I'm like, okay, cool. So there happened to be an Advanced or something. I don't know. It was one of those random parts stores that was open till like 11 o'clock at night, 11:30 at night.
Only in Texas.
Yeah, in
Well,
Texas.
we have a 24-hour advanced auto parts or AutoZone in Manassas. Do you know
Really?
that?
Really?
There's,
not know
there's a
that.
24-hour AutoZone in Manassas.
Well, I know
I
the
lived there
Manassas,
for a little bit, and I don't know that.
Yeah, the Manassas store is like their distribution for the area, but I didn't realize it's 24 hours.
yeah, there's those. You'll catch those wild parts stores throughout the country. It's just like
Well, that's weird because here you guys passed on the way out. CarQuest, or
Yeah.
it's Advanced now since
Yeah.
Advanced bought them out.
Yep.
Their warehouse is right here in Winchester.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
And they're not open to 24 hours.
That's where we
Well,
go.
it's an
That's where we
actual
go for parts
warehouse.
when we break at the code. We always go to that CarQuest or
Right.
Advanced
Yeah.
because they have everything.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. The whole distribution center's right there at your disposal. So, yeah, we found that. He puts an alternator on at the Welcome Center in Amarillo. And so we sleep another few hours, all of us. And then we get up and get going the next day. And we get somewhere in the middle of New Mexico before you get to Albuquerque. And we're pulling a hill, and some trucker ticks me off. It's funny because I work on big rig. You know, my family has a big rig shop. Still, I was like, dude, somebody trying to pass. It was a big rig trying to pass another big rig on a hill.
Oh, yeah.
And it was a
65,
pretty steep,
65 and a half mile an hour.
So, yeah, it's like 5 miles from the pass. And I was like, oh, come on, dude.
Yeah. And,
of course, I'm trying to keep my speed up because, you know, trying to take it easy on fuel.
Yeah.
Middle of New Mexico, come off the hill, and Tommy's behind me. He goes, hey, man, I just seen a big puff of white smoke out the back of your truck. I'm like, what?
No, you didn't.
I'm like looking in the mirror, and I'm like, what are you talking about? He goes, man, you got something going on. He goes, I got liquid on the front of my vehicle. And I'm like, oh, great.
I know that story. I followed you home one day in my Sonata behind his Duramax, and my car was just covered in oil.
A little bit of blow-by.
Nice. Nice. Blow-by. Okay, that's the one that...
A little bit.
That's a lot of blow-by. Anyway, so basically the Y at the bottom of the coolant tank for a 6.0, it broke because there's like a Y for all the tubes to go to.
Okay.
It's like a divider. Basically, this plastic Y just broke apart. And they make an updated version now. Of course, it's metal, not plastic. Because plastic should not be on a diesel. I don't care. Yeah. And all of them do it, and I hated that they do it. But anyway, so I broke that. There was a trucker pull off. There's no bathrooms, no store, no nothing. It was just a pull off on the side of the road. Trucker staring at us. I pull in there and unload Angie's Jeep, run up to a parts store, find the parts, come back, fix it real quick. I ended up wasting like almost 2 hours there. And New Mexico, if you haven't been there, is stupid flat.
Yep.
For anybody listening that hasn't been there, you guys have obviously been through there. Stupid flat, and depending on what time of the day it is, it gets crazy windy.
Yep.
So a Jeep,
trying
to do 80 mile an hour in the flats of New Mexico.
Yeah.
It's quite an experience, my friends.
I'm sure. Sure.
Because you're already doing 80.
Yeah.
The wind's blowing 60 one the other direction.
Yep.
So you're doing like 20.
Yeah. And I just put the front axle stabilized. Like I put new springs on the front of this thing. Actually, all the way around before we left. And so this Jeep suspension hasn't settled yet because everything's new. And I'm swerving over the road like a donkey. It was
trying
bad.
To swim upstream.
Yeah, that's a perfect analogy. It's perfect.
Yeah, it's terrible.
So I get back, fix my truck. Cool. If that's the worst that happens to me, whatever. I don't care.
Yeah, you could have blown out 4 tires and had a wheel bearing.
Yeah. Yeah. I say that until that night we get into just outside of Flagstaff, Arizona. And all the other guys.
Did it smell like dog food?
Denny's.
No.
Oh. No. Must have just been us.
We were... Flagstaff is where we stopped for the first time.
Right.
So we drove from here to Flagstaff straight through.
Holy shnikes.
And as we were going into Flagstaff, Tim in the backseat, delirious, goes, why does it smell like Denny's? And we were all like, what? And we put the windows down and we're like, oh, shit does kind of smell like Denny's. What is that? Google it. There's a dog food plant.
Yeah, pretty nice. Makes that food in.
So,
not Flagstaff.
Yeah. So that's the running joke.
Well, I was at some... Of course, that's all like, I guess I'll be politically correct, Native American area, outside of there.
Yeah, so, fuel's like $1 more a gallon.
Yeah. Well, that's, yeah. Well, the other guy, Alex, I can't remember if he went ahead of us. He decided to go ahead of us or if he was behind us. So it was just me and Tommy traveling together at that point. And they were burning up fuel left and right. So he needed to stop again. So we stopped. Go to get fuel. I get fuel. Shut the truck off. Get fuel. Go to start it up. It won't start.
Oh,
it won't start. And I'm mad. I'm furious at this point. I'm like, what? And I have no scan tool with me. But I had a tuner on it. Had one that was like a little,
like the Edge or whatever.
Yeah, Edge. Or I think it was the SCT or whatever it was. And I had the little screen. So I'm hook it up. I'm like, cool. 220 pounds of high pressure. That's not going to fire a power stroke injector system. Like, what in the world? Here's what I was saying. We'll come back to this. Remember, everything on that motor is brand spanking new. Like, literally 18,000 miles on this entire setup from the block up. Everything. Heads, gaskets, every O-ring, every injector was brand new. Everything.
High pressure pump.
Everything. All brand new.
Was.
And most of it was actually, it wasn't like cheap knockoff stuff either. It wasn't like, eBay special stuff or Rock Auto, whatever. Yeah. It wasn't. So sit there for hours and hours messing with this thing. Put some posts out on the old, the old face space and whatnot. And of course, people are calling me, trying to figure it out. Logan Backus, who actually runs in We Rock. Okay. I can't remember what class, but he runs in We Rock. He hit me up. He owns Roadrunner out in the Hurricane area.
Oh, nice.
Actually, I think he's in technically the Virkin, which is right outside of Sand Hollow. But he hits me up and he's like, hey, because he has a lot of experience with him. He's like, you sure it's this? Sure it's that? I was like, no, it ain't that. It ain't that. He's like, I'm telling you it's the IPR valve. I was like, no, it ain't the IPR. He's, yes, it is. Of course, that's under the turbo on the 6Fs. So I'm like, it's not that. He goes, I'm telling you it is. Put that on, you'll be up here. You're 4 or 5 hours away. You'll be up here in no time. I'm like, okay. So Tommy runs all the way into Flagstaff, grabs one, comes back. I can't get the wrench on it to break it loose. I end up pulling the turbo. I'm still stuck at the fuel island, by the way.
Oh, damn.
At a brand new Navajo blue casino/travel plaza thing.
So they're charging you for parking there, pretty much.
The one manager, I swear, wanted to. That woman, the night manager was cool. The day manager, she gave me this evil eye. And I'm like, oh, God, this woman's going to kill me.
She's going to charge me storage fees.
Of course, the casino's there, so they got security coming in and out there.
Yeah.
And they're all the guys, off the reservations. Yeah. And luckily, most of them were really, really cool with me. One was, all tattooed up like me, and he was like, yeah, no problem, brother, blah, blah. I'm like, sweet, cool, I'm good. But yeah, we sat there. I put that on that. It was 5 o'clock in the evening when it broke down. At 9 o'clock at night when it's starting to get cold in the desert, I'm pulling the turbo off a 6.0
at the pump.
At the pump.
That's awesome. Jesus.
To put that,
with the trailer on, you're probably blocking 2 more pumps with the trailer.
No, I luckily pulled in straight enough that wasn't, and there was a big enough parking area that wasn't a problem. But it was starting to get cold, so I'm like, I got Angie, I got my kids with me, both my kids, because we're going to do this great cross-country family trip to Trail Hero. Woo!
Yeah, that's always how that goes.
Yeah, you guys will find out soon enough.
Yeah. No, Tom's already great at road tripping. We know that.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. But it was one of those things, and of course, put it on, put the turbo back on, put it all back together, go to start it, and that wasn't it. It wasn't it. So it sits all night. We sleep in the truck at the fuel island. Tommy pulls around back where the truckers are, and he goes to sleep in his setup in his trailer. And next morning comes around stupid early, and I go inside. I get Lucas. I'm like, it's cold enough. I'm gonna dump a whole thing of Lucas in this trip. Whatever gets me going. I don't care. So I put the Lucas in, put the battery.
It's just like the regular Lucas fuel additive,
like Lucas oil additive. The stuff's like honey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's stupid thick. That
once
way,
you get the fuel going, it'll.
Well, I knew it was a high pressure oil problem, so you want to thicken the oil up. Usually, when you let those Power Strokes sit, if it's a high pressure oil problem, the oil gets thicker. There's enough viscosity there; it'll start firing your injectors. So put Lucas in it, crank it through. It fires off. Sweet, Tommy, load up. We're going. As soon as I stick it in gear, it dies. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. This is so bad. We've been at this place for 12 hours at this point, all through the night. Basically, what ended up happening, I didn't get to... Zach Johnson came through in the middle of the day. Zach Johnson was a contestant on Truck Night. He was actually my contestant, one of the guys that had won the show, and he was one of my contestants on Truck Night. He's coming out of Texas. He goes, hey, my wife's got her Gladiator. We can pull her Gladiator off of our trailer. She can pull your trailer empty. We can put your Jeep up on my trailer. And he goes, I got room in the truck. If she drives her Gladiator, we can get all the kids. We can get all of you. I said, well, here's my thing. I said, take my kids, take Angie, take them to our house up there. And of course, shout out to Rich Klein, who has Trail Hero, because he was putting out posts for me. He was, when he found out that Zach was taking, he was like, take your stuff to my place. They can crash at my place as long as you need to until you get up here and get things figured out. So
nice.
Anybody know? Yeah, Rich Klein is one of the, I will stick up for that guy. Everybody calls me a nut swinger. I don't really care. Seriously, that guy is one of the most stand-up guys there is in the industry, and I don't care what anybody says. Until you know. Once you know, you know. It's one of those deals. So I got them gone, and this crazy cat named Max. Anybody that knows Max, I think it's like 4 Max Off-Road or something like that on Instagram. Any of the locals out in Hurricane, and of course, if you're from here and you meet him, you know exactly what I'm talking about. This dude is a nut. I mean, he was sneaking backstage sometime. Like, Max is just one of the nicest guy in the world, but he's crazier than I'll get out, right? He calls me, because he has my number. He calls me, not, hey, how you doing? Where you at? I'm outside of Flagstaff. Send me the address. I was like, what? He goes, you got all your stuff up here yet? So no, my trailer and Jeep are on the way. I said, my truck's stuck down here in Navajo country or something. He goes, I said, where are you at? I said, I'll send you the address. He goes, all right, I'll be there. What? Click. What the? And all of a sudden I get a text, and he's sharing his Google location with me. And he's coming 5 hours away from Hurricane.
Jesus Christ.
Drives all the way down. Comes out, smiling. I mean, he's a goofy dude to begin with. He's nice, again, nice as could be. I like Max. But comes out, loads the truck up, throws some straps on it. Give me a minute. Goes into the store.
He's coming down with a trailer, not just with the parts.
Yeah, no, he comes down with a trailer.
Shit. All right.
Snags it. We take the long way back because he didn't want to take the trailer, because some of the ways, the back ways are like sketch.
Yeah.
When you got a trailer behind you, especially with another F-350 on the trailer.
Windy mountain roads.
Yeah. So we go all the way around the long way up to Vegas to come back in the Hurricane.
No.
He didn't ask for it. Didn't ask for anything. I just filled his tank up full of fuel. I was like, man, I was like, can I do anything? No, I don't want anything.
Was he going to the event, or he was just
he's a local in Hurricane.
Just doing a favor for a buddy?
Yeah, he has I think now he has one of the Rock Lizard chassis.
Okay.
And he messes with all kinds
Those
of
are
like
cool chassis,
old stuff.
man.
Yeah. He has one of Thomas's chassis. He's running that. So that's what he's wheeling now. He's had all kinds of things over the years. I mean, that's just what he does. Yeah, that's what he does.
Lizard.
Yeah. Now he has a Rock Lizard. But yeah, he didn't ask questions. Not, hey, how you doing? Where you at?
I'm coming.
Click. Okay.
Yeah.
There he was.
Guess I'll wait here.
Yeah. Snags my stuff, takes me in, starts raining as we're getting in the hurricane. Never rains in the desert. Well, it rained that night when I'm coming into town. And, drops my truck off. Takes me to where I'm staying, where Angie and our kids are. And, my kids and Angie were troopers through it. I thought it was going to be a lot worse. God bless Angie.
Yeah.
She didn't. I was like, I'm sorry. It's like, I drug us all the way across the country.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. She goes, it's cool. I was like, we're all like, we're good. Like, nobody's, everybody's, it is what it is. So shout out to her, of course, for sticking it out.
Being cool and sticking it out.
Yeah.
Not complaining, just having a good time.
Yeah. Because there was one point I thought I was going to getting ready to go out. Yeah, I was like, I'm going to burn this thing to the ground.
If I could, I'd turn it around and go home, but I can't.
Well, my uncle from out here called me, and my other aunt and uncle, they have a small trucking company out of Fredericksburg, and they're like, we're getting ready to load the low boy up. We're coming after you. I was like, no, I'm 5 hours away from Trail Hero. I'm going to Trail Hero.
Yeah.
I don't care at this, but like,
unless you're going to load up on the low boy and spend the week in San Hollow with us.
Yeah. And of course, we get up there the next morning. I'm supposed to be out doing things like on the golf course, doing like the kickoff stuff for Trail Hero. And Max comes through 7 o'clock in the morning with my truck on the back of his trailer still, and we take it over to Logan Backus as a Roadrunner. The shop's named Roadrunner, I think, over in Laverkin.
Okay.
I said, hey man, Logan, I just need to store it here if you don't mind. Yeah, that's cool, man. No big deal. It's whatever. I was like, I'll work on it like later in the week when I actually get time. Like I don't obviously have time for this right now. He's like, no big deal. So I'm with Rich on the golf course, and we're going around talking to people and making sure the veterans are cool, like everybody's happy, all that good stuff.
Were you working the event at Trail Hero, or you just attend?
I usually do. This year, again, Rich is such a nice guy. He was like, hey man, I know you got your family with you. I don't want you quite doing as much as you normally do. I'm like, no, I want to. Because I genuinely enjoy that event. I enjoy working it. It's fun. It's a good event. Like, it doesn't seem like work, so it doesn't bother me, But he's like, nah, it's cool, man. Chill out. So we were on the golf course, and I get a phone call from Logan. He goes, hey, where do you want your truck? I was like, no, dude, I already unloaded it. I said, it's at your shop. He goes, no, where do you want it? I was like, no, it's at your shop.
Just there. Just leave it.
Yeah, I said, just leave it. He goes, no, I got it done, you dumbass. Like, where do you want it? I'm like, oh! Okay. It had blown one of the stand 2 bow rings for some reason. Like, it Yeah, it wasn't a chunk. Like I usually have chunks of them missing, or I'll have like one cracked.
Just rolled it.
It had half of the. I don't know where the other half of the O-ring is still to this day. Let's go.
Shoot up in the bottom of your
I
pan.
got- yeah,
Did you check
probably.
your oil filter?
Yeah. I mean, we've changed a little since then, but we haven't found it.
Wild.
So I've never seen one with like a whole O-ring, just half of it missing. But that's why it didn't matter what I put in it; it wasn't going to build enough pressure to run.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had a really.
Where was that O-ring?
That's on a stand tube that goes down through the head that goes to the high pressure oil pump. So it probably got chewed up in the high pressure oil pump.
So without tearing the whole top end down, you weren't going to find that in a parking lot?
No. Yeah, we're pulling
Wild.
we're pulling the valve cover off. Then we're pulling one of the. See, it was the passenger side, so we're pulling the high pressure oil rail off and all that fun stuff to get the tube out. And in the parking lot, it would have been a nightmare.
Yeah.
It would have been a nightmare. I didn't have the right tools to do it anyway.
Yeah.
There's certain size torques I need.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So the real question is, did the Jeep survive? the
Yeah,
weekend?
we never. She was, it's technically Angie's Jeep.
Technically.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it is hers. I shouldn't say technically. It is hers. I just built it. Again, this is a Copart build.
Yeah.
So it was totaled. I had lots of body damage, and we hit a lot of that with some Moto built goodies, and and of course I did all. Axle swapped it. It's locked front and rear because it was originally just a Sahara, factory Sahara. So
Yeah.
now it's locked front and rear. It's sleeved and gusseted up front, like all that good stuff. The front's chrome ollie axles. Like it's pretty solid little rig now, especially for her first one.
Yeah.
And she didn't realize like how capable.
Basically stock Jeep.
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, basically, yeah, a sleeve stock Jeep.
Yeah.
with chrome ollie
So
axles.
it's a fancy Rubicon.
Yeah, fancy Rubicon is basically what it is now.
Yep.
With sliders and Moto built bumpers and all that.
Yep.
So of course we get it out there, and I'm like, all right, we're gonna go up here now. She's like, what? I'm like, yep, we're going up here. I gotta go follow Glenn Plake and his Green Machine full tube chassis buggy.
Yeah.
Because bypass Central, dude. That's all I'm saying.
Is that her
still
daily
counts.
driver too?
Yeah, so she has that and like an Acura TL Type S
Okay.
A spec is
Oh.
like
Fancy.
fancy. That was kind of her
Toy,
car,
yeah.
her toy, or her daily. We got her when we found out we were having our first child. So I
Nice.
was like, here you go. Sorry you're going through this.
Here's the car.
I
Here's
don't know how to
car.
compensate other than cars.
yeah. So that, and then she got the Jeep for winter. She had like a little Honda SUV. I was like, we can't have this.
Yeah.
This isn't cool. And I wanted to do like a second gen Bronco, but she's like, I can't daily that. I was like, yeah, but I can.
Yeah.
And then she made the executive decision to get the Jeep, but we did it cheap because, as you can see, my lovely cabin here, I'm not balling out of control. I'm not like, I didn't make $1 million.
Don't blame you.
Somebody gave me shit for like having new modern cars, and I'm like, dude, the newest thing I own is an '08 Honda.
Yeah.
And that's just to get me to work every morning.
Yeah, that Jeep is now the new. It's a 2015, JKU. That's the newest thing we have. Next up would be her TL's a 2008, and my little X-Runner, my little Toyota pickup out here.
That thing's sweet.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's I bought it when it had 37,000 on it. It's almost at 200,000 miles.
Damn, hell
I
yeah,
beat
though.
the crap out of that poor truck.
That's what it's for, though.
Yeah. So I mean, anybody wants to talk on Toyotas, that's. I mean, I can attest. I mean,
We love Toyotas.
I've hurt that thing so bad.
I like Toyotas. I just won't own one. Does that make sense?
Yes and no. Because I said the same thing about Jeep. And I don't technically own the Jeep. She does.
I will gladly own a Toyota. I just don't want to buy one because they're absurdly expensive.
Yeah, they hold their value. So
That's
hard, man. It's hard.
Part of why I won't. I don't know. I can't bring myself to do it. I think, like my dad, growing up, my dad was in like the forklift business, and Toyotas are probably the bigger forklift manufacturers.
Yeah.
And he always worked for companies besides Toyota and hated Toyotas. So therefore we couldn't own Toyota cars.
It's a sin. That's kind of how it is in Angie's family, because her dad, the reason she has Acura is her dad's worked for the Radley Group for over
Okay.
30 some years,
Yep.
and has been, at one point, I think he was like North America Acura's highest grossing parts manager.
Okay.
Wow.
At one point before they divided his territory. So it's
Yeah.
the same thing. Acura.
Yeah.
Only Acura.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not diehard in any one vehicle, but
I'm not either. I'm just partial.
Yeah, if you if you gave me a Tacoma and were like, here you go, I'd be like, cool, thanks.
Gonna rock it.
Yeah, I'd build the same one. I'd slam it to the ground, and I know that's a factory option though, but
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
sweet.
My biggest thing with the Tacoma is I just don't like the seating position in them.
No, that's so. If I had to complain about something in the X Runner, is we're all kind of taller guys. Like I'm 6 foot, 260 pounds, and so being a somewhat bigger guy, the Tacoma seating is a little rough because the steering wheel is kind of low. Even with I have it like steering wheel all the way up, but then like it's weird because I'm not Shaquille O'Neal and have really long arms.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to like give my legs room. But then because of the position of the steering wheel, like my arms stretched all the way out, trying to. It's really weird.
I always feel like I'm straight legging a Tacoma. Like I get we get them in the shop all the time, and I get in like a manual, and I'm like, wait, I can't reach the clutch.
Right. Yeah.
It's just a weird position.
And that was the main reason I got that one years ago because it was still a 6-speed when manual transmissions have been getting phased out. It's a 6-speed manual.
Yep. 2-wheel drive.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's the NASCAR edition.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, if it was 4-wheel drive, now I wouldn't slam it.
Does it only make left turns?
Sometimes.
It's better at them.
That's usually the way it burns out the best because it's only stock 4.0.
Yeah. That little 4.0 is a good motor, though.
I shouldn't make fun of it because, again, it's almost 200,000 miles of my driving, and I lived in, down in like Manassas and Fairfax for 8 years with it, and it put up with all that, put up with my abuse.
It's beating the life out of it.
Oh, yeah, it's... I probably shouldn't say this, like, document it, but it's just headers now.
Yeah.
Like, for the last 2 or 3 years, it's headers.
You're in a non-emissions county.
Yeah, I'm in a non-emissions county, so I don't really care. But it may or may not have had certain things avoided, and then it has a vibrant resonator on it.
Oh, so you can hear that thing half a mile away.
Yeah, so, it's headers, vibrant resonator, because I made the Y, like, everything after the headers is on me, and then a 40 series Flowmaster.
Oh my God.
It's loud.
It is.
That's obnoxious.
We'll have to get a video of that
even
later.
for me, it's like, Abe, you need to take 2 days, take a weekend, and switch this thing up because it's bad. And I put the resonator in it because someone's like, why are you doing that? I'm like, I don't want it to be too bad. I'm like, thank God I at least did that when I did it. Yeah. It's bad.
Yeah, as I'm coming into my old age of 29 years old, I'm enjoying not loud exhaust anymore.
Yeah.
Because I know it gets me in trouble. It's also a pain in the ass to drive for more than 5 minutes.
The thing is, everything I own, everything we have has exhaust on it. Like the 6.0 out there, 4-inch straight pipe. Her Jeep her Jeep's just an axle back. It's MBRP axle back, and it's the
MBRPs actually sound pretty good on the
and it's not, what is it, the big, it deletes the big muffler, and it's like just the high, they call it the high clearance or whatever. Yeah. So we put one of those on there.
Yeah, that one in MagnaFlow has like they're calling it their Overland series.
Yeah.
That one sounds really good.
Yeah.
And it's not obnoxiously loud.
Yeah.
And it deletes that giant muffler off the back.
That was the thing. I was like, I sent her because she said she wanted an exhaust on. I was like, all right, cool, whatever. But I went and found all the ones that made like a high clearance because I didn't want that bumper or I didn't want that big muffler back there.
It's awful.
Yeah, and I said, you pick out what you want. And that's what she went through, and she's picked out most of the stuff on there.
Did she do the whole YouTube thing? Listen to each of them run on YouTube?
She actually did. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Like she took the time to go, I don't like that one. I like this one.
That's my least favorite part about picking exhaust is trying to find a high enough quality video of it on YouTube to see if you're gonna like the sound.
I love the ones where like the dude like tries to prop his phone up and it falls over as he runs away from it to go start the truck,
and it starts cackling because it's clipping. The audio, or anybody knows audio, it's clipping real hard. Because it's just too much for us.
It's too loud. They're too close for it.
Yeah. Or they like have their hand over the microphone. That's always the good one.
Yeah, real muffled sounding.
Yeah. They're yelling to their buddy to rev it.
Yeah. Hey, more. No, not. Yeah.
But it gets the point across. If the audio is good enough, you're like, I'll run it too.
Yeah. So she's picked most of that stuff out, and Trail Hero was fun. It was a blast. We actually made it. Every year out there, they have like a beginner's 101 course you can take. And her and I don't communicate well when it comes to off-roading.
No.
Yeah. Which come to find out once I have a lot of friends out there. So we were talking to a lot of the couples and they were like, yeah, we have the same problem. I'm like, cool, we're not the only ones. Like, it's not, babe, we're still good. It's okay. So she went to, took that class, and I watched the kids while she like went through the whole course, and she drove the whole thing. She actually ended up having to do a recovery while we were there.
Cool.
Nice.
Because we, it was a one-on-one class, and she had kind of the most built, I guess we'll say, even though it was basically a fancy Rubicon, she had the most built vehicle out there. And guy had back into it. They've had a lot of rain out there this past year.
Yeah.
There's some big washouts in the sand, and this guy wasn't paying attention and took I don't know if it was a Trackhawk. It was one of like the Jeep Cherokee, Grand Cherokee, but I don't remember if it was Trackhawk. Anyway, Trailhawk,
Yeah.
Trackhawk wouldn't do well.
Excuse me, Trailhawk. And I don't know what he did, but it's like a 3-4 foot ditch.
Oof.
And he just bombed it out. So we had to hook rope and yank him, and in 2 tugs she had it out, and she was like, "Oh, did I do it right?" I'm like, instructor was like, "You killed it."
Yeah.
Is he out? Did you break anything?
Good job. Dead?
Yeah. Good. Nobody's hurt. Got him out. Nothing broke. And he was like, "So that was your first time recovering?" She's like, "I've never done that before."
Does she have any experience before Trail here?
No, I threw her to the wolves, boys. Like,
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the poor girl.
I feel like that's the way to do it.
It really
though.
is.
like she was mad. She was kind of mad about it. She was
She
like,
got over it.
Yeah, she did. Once she got out there and she was having fun. She had a good time. Like the kids even enjoyed it. Like it was great.
Yeah.
Trail here was just like, again, I know it sounds like I'm like ooh, all about it, but it's I've been all over the country and it's a great place.
Yeah, I think that's like we were talking about it driving up here, like trying to do more events.
Yeah.
Just because like that's the part of it that's fun. Like as much fun, like we've been doing a lot of the overlanding camping side of it and like exploring things, which is great. But the rock crawling side, I just want to go to events. I want to hang out with people, talk to people, meet people, wheel different places, like and just have fun in that sense.
And it's being out here on the East Coast. It's different.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it without pissing one side or the other off. It's
Just do it.
yeah, the mindset out there is just different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot less conflict, I guess is the nice way of saying it out there.
I think that's just the personalities at play more than anything.
Yeah, there's especially I've never done hammers, so I can't attest to hammer. I mean, I know you guys have. I haven't done
We
hammers.
haven't yet,
Nope.
actually.
Oh, I thought you guys went out.
We were supposed to go
We were
this year,
supposed to go
but
this year.
he hired a new guy. I'm working on stuff at work, and
Gotcha.
we can't make
Yeah,
it.
I can't take 2 weeks off from the shop.
Right, and I was invited 2 years ago to drive the OG.
Yeah.
The Bronco that won the first one that Bender had actually built, and that just didn't work out financially for me a couple years ago because, like you said, you're taking 2 or 3 weeks off.
Yeah.
You're not getting paid. Bills pile up. Especially when you got a couple kids running around.
Yeah.
And then you decide you're going to build a Jeep. That was great. But Trail Hero, you have all the biggest brands, all the biggest names. This year we had Uncle Cracker and POD.
Oh, that's cool.
Which I got to introduce all of them on stage. I got
That's
Actually, I got pictures of them. The kid. I got a picture somewhere. I'll see if I can find it on my phone later for you guys. My daughter. Anybody that follows on social media, they saw this. My daughter's like looking up and she's leaning back. She has this confused look on her face because Uncle Cracker's leaning over trying to talk to her, and she don't know who this guy is. She's like, "Huh?" And I'm like, "He sings some of the songs we were listening to. He was singing them." She goes, "Okay, like
Yeah,
what? Like my 9-year-old's like, so why do I got to talk to this guy?" I'm like, "You get to hang, like you're getting to hang out with this guy. Like, you get to take pictures with him." It's the same with POD, Sonny, and all the guys from POD. Really awesome, really nice guys. Same thing, but she was more into that because she was, Angie and I, we always listen to like heavier stuff anyway, usually. Yeah. And you can listen to POD with kids in the car, that type thing. Mm-hmm. So they listen to that more. And of course, now she's all like, they're coming out with some new music here recently. So she's like, listen to it, bobbing her head. She's like, "Dad, we hung out with them." I'm like, "Yeah, we hung out with them." So that one she's kind of excited about. So that was cool. But that's what I'm saying. You have all these big names. You have all the big brands out in the industry. And almost, you'll have a tchotchke or two out there. Don't get me wrong. There's always a donkey in the bunch, right? Yeah. "Don't tell me what to do. I'll do what I want." Yeah, okay.
I know my rights.
Yeah, yeah. Matter of fact, all week with 40,000 plus people through the state park gate, I think there was only one person that got kicked out.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
That's because
that's a really good ratio.
And that was during the concert series, and that's because he was acting like
40,000 people.
So I know. I think we're still trying to get. I haven't talked to Rich because they just did Trail Hero Japan, and he's been out of country.
I saw that.
cool.
Yeah,
He's
wild.
been out of country for like 2 weeks. That's what's really cool is it's growing so much. You know, the Japanese government. You know, they just now lifted a lot of their COVID restrictions.
Yeah.
Back in the summer, so they're trying to get tourism back.
Yep.
So
That'd be such a cool trail here in Japan. All the little K trucks.
Yeah.
Running around with.
oh, they have everything over there. You know, they Rich and a bunch of them. What's the young kid that's blown up here on the East Coast? I think he goes by like Big Silver 4x4
Oh
or
yeah,
something.
Big Silver. Yeah.
Yeah, young kid. He's out of Pennsylvania, I think.
Yeah, I've wheeled with him before.
Yeah, real young kid. I think he's like 13.
Yeah.
He's talented. I wish his parents would adopt me so they would, give me a full $100,000 tube chassis buggy. That'd be great. Cool.
Oh, is that the kid that was at the Cove? in
Yeah,
that
he
little
used to wheel
single
the
seater.
Cove. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but if his parents are listening, please seriously adopt me so I can
Yeah.
get a tube chassis too.
Yeah.
I don't know too many 13-year-olds that can say they have a $100,000 rig sitting. That's
I had a go-kart that was made out of pipe.
I mean, so did I.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, so did I with a 5-horsepower Briggs and Stratton.
Hell yeah, brother.
3/4 inch Schedule 40. Not quite a tube chassis, but
Right.
it counts.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's just so I haven't talked to Rich a whole lot just because he's been busy with that. I think they shipped 10 or 12 rigs over there.
That's wild.
Something like that. Yeah, Cody from
expensive.
Laser Nut. Yeah,
It's expensive.
his new Pretty Penny. If you haven't seen that, I took
yeah.
pictures
We
of it.
saw it at
Posted
SEMA last year.
the
Was
new
it there?
rig. Not the newest
no,
one. He
it's-
just finished
I
this new
just
one.
saw
Matter of fact, I think
somebody
Trail
did a
Hero
YouTube
was-
video of it, like a walk around of it recently.
It was probably from Trail Hero because I want to say
Maybe.
that was the first time that
Okay.
rig had been out. That was the
Yeah.
first time because Cody hasn't competed in I don't know a year or two. I
Yeah,
think
it's pretty.
he's been sponsoring
pretty
everybody.
sick, yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, like the metal tubing for like your for your radiator and everything. Like everything's copper and chrome plated
That's
now.
awesome.
Yeah.
Instead of just the wheels being copper plated, like everything on the motor is copper and chrome. It's wild.
That's
Yeah.
It's wild.
I do like the copper plating trend.
Yeah.
Like it's like starting to be a thing.
It looks good.
The hot rod
Yeah.
guys did it a few years
Yeah,
ago,
yeah.
and it's like catching on now. It's
Yeah.
a nice change.
Oh yeah. It's expensive.
Oh,
Stupid expensive. As everybody looks at him like, Cody, seriously, what are you doing?
business is good.
yeah, obviously. Yeah, he's well, I mean, when you make everybody's stuff for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, for real.
You
Like
know.
everybody's stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
I
wearing
just
a shirt.
realized I'm actually wearing one of his laser
Makes
nut
your shirt
shirts.
for you.
Yeah. So yeah, they shipped all that stuff. So I haven't talked to them, but I think last number I heard it was just over 40,000 people.
Jesus Christ.
Through because you have to go through the state park gate
Yeah.
to get in for Trail Hero. Of course, a handful of those people weren't there for the event, but usually because all the permits are ran through Trail Hero, 99% of them, that's what it's for.
Yeah.
So, yeah, between the concert and Trail Hero itself, we had over 40,000 people.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That seems like a ton of people.
With no issues. That's the other thing. No real crazy. I mean, you have people roll over. Some people get hurt. Don't get me that's you have that no
It's
matter
not
what you do.
necessarily being dumb though. That's just
Right.
that's just part of what we do.
Right. And
so that event's probably 2 years away from being a 100,000 person event.
it's pretty, I mean, Monster. The Monster. So the concert series, it's Monster Stage. It's Monster Energy is a big sponsor.
Probably right on the side, at least right on the heels of Hammers as it comes to event size.
Right.
Because I
It's-
think Hammers hit 100 last year.
Right.
Yeah.
And Hammers is how many years has Hammers been going? I can't remember.
Since 2007.
I
Right.
thought it was older than that.
It is.
was
I
I think it's 7.
No.
No, I think it's 7.
05. I want to say it was 05 is when 05 or 06. It's somewhere in that area.
Yeah.
But Trail
20 years
Hero, this was just their 8th year.
Wow.
Yeah, we're going in next year will be their 9th year. We've already set the dates already set.
So we'll have to go next year before it gets really blows up and everyone and their mother's there.
Two Utah trips in 1 year might be tough.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I got when I meant because we're trying to do Rock Crawlers doing a like mini version of Trail Hero themselves.
Right, yeah.
And they're hosting it in Moab.
Yeah.
So like we're trying to
They need to.
Yeah.
Especially with everything going on out there.
Yeah. So I think they're trying to do that, and
real.
we're like we want to make the trip out and spend the weekend and do that, and I'm like,
Prove that our industry isn't the one that's ruining everything.
Yeah.
yeah. I asked the wife, I'm like, listen, I know it's 9 days in a vehicle, but like
It's a lot.
I'm willing to do it with a 10-month-old. Are you? And she's like, no, that doesn't sound fun.
Yeah.
No, I was like, no, I get it. Like, we'll figure it out and figure out how to pull it off, kind of thing. But
It's rough.
Yeah.
I mean, it's. I mean, my son turns 3 next week, so he was 2 while we're doing this. My daughter was not just turned 9.
yeah.
And hey, I'm going to shove you in the back of a pickup for 3 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we're going to bomb around the desert for another.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just went to South Carolina for Thanksgiving, and like I drove through the night. We left Northern Virginia at like 9 o'clock on Sunday night to arrive at 6 a.m. Monday morning. Best decision I ever made, because they both slept for 8 hours. I did a 9-hour drive in 8.5 hours.
Right.
And it was great. We left South Carolina at 10 in the morning, and it took us 15.5 hours to get home because we had to stop every 4 hours, wake the kid up, feed, because he sleeps in the car. He's great in the car, but you still have to, during the, like, keep him on schedule.
You have to make sure it stays alive.
Yeah. That's the important part.
Which I will say is easier than I expected it to be, but.
Now, you say that, so I'm at the point where our son's getting ready to be 3 next week, or actually this week, on Friday. I'm to the point now where I've made my mind up. I got to find a toter that has a bathroom if I'm going to go back to Trail Hero.
Yeah.
Because if I can do that, I can eliminate half of the stops.
Yep.
And it'll have bigger fuel tanks, so then I can go further. But I've been slowly looking, because with this awesome economy that we're in right now,
people are selling everything.
people are selling a lot. The only problem
is that your truck yard next door? Or
no, that's
your
actually
family's truck yard?
So that's my cousin. So it's extended family. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's yeah.
So you do have some things at your disposal where you can make a toter.
Well, when we leave here, I'll take you to my family shop real quick. You can see my 4-acre junkyard of big rigs.
Any cab overs for sale?
Yeah, there is actually. Yeah.
Will you trade for an XJ?
Well, I don't know. John Steiner, if you're listening, the cab over you want to get rid of, you might have another vehicle. I don't know if he's in it. He just bought a brand new Corvette. So I don't know.
How big of a toter do we need for 3 families and 4 Jeeps?
Oh, God. I've thought the same thing. Like, well, if I get one big enough, I can have people just pay me for fuel to take their stuff out there.
Yeah.
But then I got to be responsible for your stuff, and I don't like that.
You probably have a CDL though, don't you?
I don't. I shouldn't say that on the air.
Hey, if it's a toter home, it's technically a motor home.
Did you say CDL? You meant BDL.
Yeah, BDL.
I meant CBD. You got any CBD in the house?
Yeah. You see where we're at out here, man? Like, nobody. Like, we're still. This isn't down where you guys are at. With Dirt Nerd, this is out here.
Yeah.
Now, with that being said, definitely.
Going west, you could get in trouble going west.
Here. Well, that's why you look for like one of those Freightliner FL70s that is just under that.
It's an RV.
26,000 weight limit or whatever. Yep. There's ways around that, man.
Yeah. Well, it's like the meme where it's like, it's a dump truck with a deck over and an excavator, and it's like CDL required. And then an RV with a car trailer, and it's like CDL not required. Yeah. And then it's the RV towing the excavator.
CDL not required.
What is it? Modern problems require modern solutions. Yep. It's like, same thing. So I've made my mind up that's to do a big trip like that.
Yeah.
That's what it's doing. And that's another thing. Like, I know that's awesome you guys are doing that, because anybody that's paying attention knows that, was it 300 and some miles of trail was just closed? Was it Blue Ribbon Coalition? Is which they just launched their book at Trail Hero, as a matter of fact.
Yep.
They announced it there.
The Lost Trails of Moab, I think it is.
Yeah, and Trail Hero is supporting them. And they're actually, I think they even partnered. Yeah. Even though that's Trail Hero is always in Sand Hollow.
Yeah.
Because it's in Utah. Rich said, "No, we're going to support this because
it affects the whole industry.
It affects the whole industry. Yeah, it affects everybody.
Even out here, because all of the public lands that we run out here,
we've lost so much. We have
the
nothing.
potential to be taken away.
And that's what I told everybody. I was like, you guys need to pay attention to this. Everybody was like, what's the big deal?
Yeah.
I was like, take it from somebody that lives on the East Coast. There is hardly no public land out here for us. You're gonna lose interest in the sport if you gotta constantly pay to go ride. And that's nothing against.
Because our parks out here are great.
Yeah, we have AOAA, Famous Reading,
unfortunately, they have expenses. They got taxes and insurance and everything else they got to pay. Right. It's a business. We got to pay to play.
But that's also why you don't see as many big events out here.
Yep. Yeah.
Because the landowners they have their hand out going, all right, well, you got to pay this much. Yeah. And the way it works, for those that don't know, when you do an event out on the West Coast on public land, you just So say this is an exact number, so this isn't what trailer pays, but I can tell you, when you do a week-long event like that on public land, you pay for your permits, you're carrying your insurance.
Yep.
There is no give you a percentage of the door. It's like $10,000 for a week for permits to do, like because St. Hello's public land. You get your permits. You're saying, hey, I'm using land for this week. They gets approved, and it's $10,000, no matter how many people show up.
Yeah.
Well, it's the same thing with Hammers. Hammers is the same thing with Johnson Valley.
Exactly. Yep. So the flip side of that is here on the East Coast, because we have no public land, because we've lost it all.
Yep.
And again, not talking bad about the public, or the private land guys, all of them that are out here, but they want to make money because they need to make money.
Yeah.
Right.
Because they got to pay county taxes.
Right. They got to, if you got 10,000 acres, your taxes are through the flipping roof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you got to pay that.
Yep.
And usually they don't want just a flat fee. They want a percentage of however many people come.
Yeah,
so the better you do, the better they do. Yep. I get it. That's business, but it also makes it really hard for somebody that wants to set up an event to be like,
It also makes it hard for the participants, because then you potentially have to pay entrance fees for the campground or the off-road site.
Yeah, it's like there's some place close that does that already.
Yeah, then you have to pay event fees too.
Yeah.
All the places.
Yeah.
I mean, the Cove, Roush Creek, and they all do it that way.
Yeah, even for Leah's thing, it's going to be that way.
It's going to be that way too.
Yeah. And the problem with that is here on the East Coast now I saw one where it was like a day ride. It was like $150, and I'm like, holy shnikes! And people are like, "What's the big deal?" I'm like, "It's $55 a trail here per trail."
Yeah.
So per trail, so you can go in the day, run the normal run in the morning, whatever it is, doesn't matter what it's rated. Run your run, and they've started doing night runs. Another $55 or $60. So for less than what you do for one day out here, you can hit 2 trails, a day run and a night run, for less.
Yeah.
Well, the way I look at it is, the three of us are hourly. We work for hourly, I assume.
Yeah.
How many hours do you have to work
to
go wheel for a day?
Yep.
If I got to put in a full if it's $300 to bring my vehicle between fuel, food, fees, $300. I'm working 3 days to go wheel for a single day.
Yeah. And
it hurts to think about that. Like, how many hours do I have to work to make this viable?
Well, it's good that you say that, though, because I've had these conversations with some of these landowners. Like some of these parks will say, "Hey, we want to do a bigger event." This is especially when I was, when truck night was still going strong. We were still at least in negotiations for season 3. We want to do something big, and I'm like, okay, let's hear what you think.
Yeah.
And it's usually always the same thing, and I'm like, it's not feasible for most of the people are blue collar.
Yeah.
Most of your trail riders, like Trail Hero, you get a lot of the bigger names that come out. They're sponsored, whatever. Hey, that's great. That's what helps drives our sport. I get it.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, your end user is a blue collar man or woman,
Getting paid by the hour,
or salary or whatever.
Yep.
And they have a mortgage, and they have kids, or they're still paying their college loans, or whatever the case may be. So, like you said, you're thinking about it in hourly rate term, like, well, I got to work 2 days just so I can have 1 day of fun.
Yep.
And then if I break something, then I'm double screwed.
for real.
Yeah, and then I can't go to the other 3 events I want to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It could literally ruin the rest of your year.
Yeah.
Especially if you, say you roll. Cage is compromised. Now you busted the body. The windshield's knocked out.
Yep.
Especially if you use that sometimes to drive on the road. Now you're really, it could turn ugly really fast.
Yep.
And for an average person that isn't, balling out of control, it sucks.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to charge you $150 to come play on my trail.
Yeah.
That's
rough. It's a catch-22, man. There's business side of it, then there's kind of like our side of it, so to speak.
That's one reason that, at least personally, I've kind of resorted to the overlanding thing, is just because it's so much cheaper. You're not paying to be out on the trails. All you're doing is buying food and fuel, family feud and fuel.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah. It's I don't know. I think to convince people to spend the money, you have to have that perceived value.
Yeah.
Where like Trail Hero, you're rubbing shoulders with that guy you follow on Instagram or watch on YouTube. You get the concert out of it. You get the vendors. You get the professionals. Like I think that's a big draw for people right now. Where some of the smaller events and things where it's like just basically paying money to use private land, like
and that
you're not getting a lot out of your money.
Yeah, and that's what I'm getting at is, so say you pay that $150, you just do a trail ride,
Right.
Or a Trail Hero. If you buy 2 or 3 trails or more throughout, it doesn't matter what day of the week, doesn't matter what trails they are. If you buy, I think it's 2 or more. I could be wrong. I have to go back and look at the website. But you get a free pass to go watch the concert.
Yeah,
you're not paying extra to go see POD or whoever.
Yeah.
And Saving Abel was the other band. I'm sorry, there's 3 bands.
Nice.
It was Uncle Cracker, Saving Abel, and POD. You're in free. You're in the back. Don't get me wrong, but you can park your Jeep on the beach at Sand Hollow, watch one of the bands.
Yep, that's awesome.
For free.
Let's go. Let's do it.
Because you've already, and then we had a thing called Power Hour, and we asked certain brands, and most of the brands participated. It was kind of a requirement almost this year, where you give the deepest discounts of the year. So
nice.
Moto-Built showed up this year, and I think Dan was like doing 25% off anything
Nice.
Moto-Built at the show.
Trail Hero Black Friday.
Yeah. But then I think Dan went a little crazy. I think he offered it like to everybody on the internet. I was like, hey, since we're a Trail Hero, here's a coupon code.
I missed that.
I think I might be wrong on that, but I'd have to go back and look at social media.
I know that Black Friday was good because we have a guy we're doing like basically like the full Moto-Built catalog on his TJ. Actually, probably starting right about now. About this point in the day, they should be starting that job.
Yeah.
But he went crazy on Black Friday and just bumpers, armor, rock sliders.
Did you see this? Oh, no, I should bring this up.
No, bring it up. Do it.
Oh, God. I might get in trouble for this.
I can always edit it.
Yeah, okay. So you might have to let me listen to this first and then edit it.
Okay. I'll just look at the timestamp. I know where we're at.
So did you see, I say this because you're a shop owner, and I do a lot of the resale stuff too. Well, I used to do a lot. I don't do as much anymore. I'm technically a Moto-Built dealer, and I'm like bottom of the barrel. Like I don't get a whole lot of it, but I'm still technically a Moto-Built dealer. And that's mainly because of Bender. Let's just get real. There was like a small group of dealers that threw like a full-blown tantrum on the internet.
Oh, over the sale?
Over the pricing.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
I think I caught the tail end of it because I was dealing with a separate one through one of my other companies. I'll leave the name out, but there were a couple this year.
Well, Moto-Built, the only reason I bring it up is because Moto-Built, it was way out in public, and somebody, I can't remember who it was, but the one person went as far as they screenshotted our dealer. You know how we get dealer emails. Anybody that's in the business knows we get like dealer direct emails. The company's talking directly with us dealers. He took screenshots of the emails and threw them out there on the internet.
Did he get banned as a dealer? He should have.
No. And so,
because that can violate a lot of contracts by doing that.
I do remember seeing their sales being very, very good from a retail standpoint.
So it was. I guess I'll go ahead and talk about it because it was already put out on the internet, so you could still find it. The picture still exists
somewhere.
Yeah, no, I mean, the guys. I don't know if the guy took the post down or not, but it got shared by some people, and that's how I even noticed. Like I didn't even notice it. But there was a group of the direct dealers basically complaining because Moto-Built gave
they were undercutting them
30% off.
Yeah,
which anybody that's a dealer knows. Like there's tier systems. You know this, but anybody in the industry that isn't in the industry, so to speak, that isn't a dealer listening, there's tier systems. Usually tier 1 for everybody across the board is like 20.
Yeah, usually 15, 20.
Yeah, something like that. But Moto-Built was given 30. To the public.
Yeah.
No discount code. It was just just come to our website and buy. The whole website pretty much.
Damn.
Some stuff was more. Yeah. Like small little tabs were like 40% off.
Yeah, some of their like builder stuff and clearance stuff was 40% off.
If you wanted Moto-Built stickers or a sweatshirt, they might
clear out the warehouse.
I could use 5 horsepower. I'll take a sticker.
Right?
I think I have a couple in the drawer.
40% off.
Yeah.
So there was these dealers that got to like rant about this on the internet, and they were like taking screenshots and showing what our dealer stuff was and blah blah blah. And I'm like, what are you guys doing? Like, this is nuts. Why would you?
Yeah.
Okay, complain about it. One, that's all you're doing is hyping them up, so more people are going to see it. So more people are going to like, well, why am I going to to go and I can go directly to Moto-Built.
Yeah. Oh,
2,
you're proving you can't get me a better price.
Right. Right. 2, you're kind of making yourself look like Bud.
Yeah.
I mean,
Don't
that's
make yourself look like an ass, because that also takes away business.
And then thirdly, well, if you know that you could get off more right now, shut up and stockpile. Get your
For real.
Now you're getting tier 2 pricing instead of if you're only a tier 1 dealer. Stockpile some stuff,
and that way you can sell it at
wait
30% markup in a few months.
Wait until March or April when somebody is like, "Oh, I want to go. I want to go to Easter Jeep Safari."
Yep.
And I want to leave the East Coast. Oh, hey, I got this. I'll give it to you for this.
Yep.
This winch bumper or whatever.
Yeah, there's definitely some benefit in stocking it like that. I mean, I
know it's a big chunk of change to come off. I get that.
Also
especially right
space.
now.
Parts.
Well, and that's
our
space. Biggest thing is space.
Yeah.
Like we just did a stocking order with over on Vehicle Systems for like just knick-knacky retail stuff, but they were like, oh, well, if you do, $3,000, it's free shipping, and if you do $5,000, it's like 2 pallets, so it's free shipping, and we'll throw in, basically one of everything extra for you. And I'm like, okay, but where am I going to put a pallet of winches? They were trying to sell me they're like a pallet's, I think it was like 28 winches, and like the price was so good that I considered it, and then I'm like, wait a minute, where am I going to put 28 winches? Like I sell 28.
Can I stack on the winches?
Right. Yeah. I'm like, I sell 28 winches.
I know where you can put
year.
one of them on my Jeep.
Yeah, right.
I'm like, maybe I sell those in a year, and I got to give them away, and I got to spend a ton of time, and now I'm doing these 1 hour installs. Like,
you're really just hoping to make it up on the labor side, so to speak. So that's tough.
Yeah. So it's like I'd almost forgo the deal to make my life better.
You simplify. Simplify.
And like
as a business owner.
Yeah.
Well,
like
that way you also don't have cash sitting on a shelf.
Right. And that's, I'm like, because like, especially in Northern Virginia, everybody wants a name brand, no matter how well you can sell them. Like, hey, this part is half the price, does a better job, and it looks better.
It's also made in the same Chinese factory.
It's literally the same thing with a different sticker
don't
on
get me
it.
started on that crap.
Go.
But OVS has never shied away from the fact they will tell you their twin air compressor, like onboard air compressor, is the exact same thing that comes out of the exact same Chinese factory as the ARB one, and it's cheaper, and they make one change. They put a bigger fitting on it, so it flows like 0.2 more CFM.
There was some of that going on at Trail Hero. Some of the smaller compressor names were out there.
Yep.
And one of them, what's his?
Rough Countries is literally the ARB compressor, just red.
Yeah. And there was Angie was looking at it, she goes, that's the same compressor as them. I was like, it's just different color, different fittings.
Yeah.
Same, literally. Like you look at, I don't care what color you paint, you look at it going, that's the exact same flipping thing.
Yep.
So many companies do this.
Yep.
Unless it's like,
at that point you're just paying for the warranty. You pay the extra $200.
But all of them give you the same warranty now. Rough Country now warranties those products.
Yeah.
Because they realize that's the only way they're going to sell them for the prices that they put them out on. Because everyone realizes, oh, this is cheap Chinese crap. Oh, I can still get cheap Chinese crap just with a warranty? Okay.
That's why also, now if you want to get...
What's the Tommy Boy thing?
The guarantee on the box?
Yeah.
I guarantee. the guarantee fairy. Next thing you know, he's in there sniffing glue. Yeah. Watched that too many times when I was younger.
It's a great movie.
It is a great movie. But yeah, you see a lot of that in the industry, and some of the brands get mad when you talk about it.
Yeah.
It's like, look, man.
People aren't stupid.
Yeah, people aren't stupid. And then when...
if you don't want people to get mad, build it here.
Yeah, well, you don't want to do that.
Innovate the product.
Yeah, innovate.
You don't want to do that. Here, all right, so I'm just put this out there, and I don't care if it offends people. Yeah, I don't care.
Right.
Here's the
I already
thing.
offended everybody by saying mashed potatoes are overrated.
Oh, damn it! Now we're not for. Hey, you want eggnog? I got no. You know.
Yes, I'm a. We're both the.
Yeah, I'm a. What's up?
Hell yeah!
I got.
Wait, I gotta cut that. That sounds real bad.
That's why I did it.
God damn it!
Rewind.
Love me some eggnog when it's that time of the year.
All year round. In summer, I'm drinking nog.
I don't know about summer.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm not summer nog.
It's got to be. It's got to be.
It's cold. Yeah. But
God damn it!
we've seen this a lot. You know, not even just the off-road industry, because my family has a big rig shop.
Yeah.
And every now and then we're getting parts that like it's on back order. Why is it still on back order? Well, China's, I'm not going to try to get political because I really don't care what you are.
China.
But China has been locked down, and so much of our stuff
Yep.
Yeah.
Even if like say the assembly is done here or the casing is
Just the
made
materials.
here. Yeah, the materials or this
the
one little
dyes.
switch
Yep.
or this one little dumb thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, a diode or whatever comes out of China. So the product's still on back order or it's held up because they're waiting for their shit to get here from another country. Now the flip side to that, let's make it here. The problem is
we got to pay so much more.
we got to pay $30 flipping an hour to get anybody to do anything.
Yeah, that way those people can go wheel. Come on, man.
See, and
full circle.
That's what I'm saying. It is. So it's a catch-22. No matter what you do, you're losing. Do you want to pay more? Like, or I've said that I've talked about this before. Origin Jeans. I'm not sponsored by them. I don't know them. That's the brand that you've heard Joe Rogan talk about.
Okay.
Yep.
It's part owned by really famous Navy SEAL. Why did his name just leave me?
Goggins? Not Goggins.
No, not Goggins. Dude's like say he's batshit crazy. He was the guy playing metal music and raising the American flag just so that like some stuff would pop off over in the sandbox.
That doesn't.
'Cause he went,
narrow it
man.
down. I don't know.
Sounds like a Marine.
No,
does sound
it
like a
was
Marine.
oh my god, does Brazilian jiu-jitsu. That's how they got started.
That's all of them now, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. That's true.
My wife does BJJ,
That's
so
true. Yeah.
she kicks my ass.
Damn,
That was
she-
before
she-
she was doing
Yeah.
jiu-jitsu, though.
She,
The problem is I got his face in my head.
Yeah.
Jocko Willing.
oh, okay.
Jocko.
There you
That
go.
dude's crazy. But anyway, he's part owner of Origin. They were having their Black Friday sale, and it was still like $140 for a pair of blue jeans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's American made by American people. The cotton is even sourced from here in the States. They
Wow.
buy nothing. They like brought all these old machines back to the States so they could have the textile industry back here in the U.S. So it's literally 100% American made. But you're paying all your workers an American wage.
Yeah.
Because you want to make sure you provide well for them.
Well, it's not even just that.
And they're getting all their stuff from America.
You're
And
also
they're not-
paying all the taxes.
I was going
here.
to say, you're not getting any of the tax breaks.
Yep.
You know? So it stuff starts adding up, man.
So I did come to this conclusion this week when it comes to buying clothes, is unless I get fatter in my life, everything will fit me till the day I die. So I can spend more
Yeah,
money.
Screw you.
Like I said, unless I get fatter.
Yeah.
So I can spend the money on quality products now because I'm not going to
Sure.
outgrow it. I'm not in my early 20s and teens anymore. I can spend the money. So I actually am making that investment.
Do
in
you
higher
want- do you wanna
quality
tell?
clothing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get fatter. No,
Yeah,
I know.
yeah,
I know.
dude.
I know what
Dude.
industry I'm in.
Dude, yeah. That's what
Good luck.
you think. And the problem with me is like I yelled at Rich. I was like, stop getting those West Coast medium T-shirts
Oh, yeah.
for Trail Hero. And he's like, what do you mean? I was like, I conceal. Like I carry. Like anybody knows me, I conceal. It's just I'm into guns. That's what I do. I have since I turned 21. It's just it's just a thing for me. Problem is you're wearing those West Coast medium shirts that suck up on you. Besides my man boobies jiggling everywhere, nobody wants to see.
Yeah.
It footprints really bad. He starts laughing at me. He goes, "We just need to lose a little." Shut up, Rich.
It's not me. It's the shirt.
It's the shirt.
It's the shirt.
2XL means 2XL. That doesn't mean
The thing that killed me when I was in Colorado were like an XL or 2XL shirt. They just make them wider. They don't make them longer.
Yeah, I hate that.
Yeah, so you need to get the talls, the XL talls.
Oh, yeah, you
Yeah,
raise
but then
your
the talls are down to my knees because I'm not 6'5".
yeah.
Like
You raise your arm up and your belly button. Hey.
So it's what's happening with the back brace. My gut keeps coming out. Like I'm walking around the house and I can't tell because of the brace is on. And my wife's like, "Your stomach's hanging out." I'm like, "Thank you." Like,
tuck your shirt in.
if I said that
Oh,
to you,
ooh.
Future Tom, Doug.
Yeah.
I can't bend.
Can't bend over.
Yeah, no, I don't know. It's the thing that we've done it before and we've talked about it. Like I try and work with made in America products.
It's hard.
Yeah.
It's so hard, and like
It's hard.
the problem is even if you do find something about it that's like, or I shouldn't say something, you find somebody who's doing the right thing and then they sell out.
Yeah,
Right,
But-
that's the biggest thing we're running into right now is like even the stuff I like
it's selling out.
is
Well, the
selling
whole
out.
Trans Am America debacle that went down. That was a
and
nightmare.
now Wheel Pros is Hoonigan because that's going to help them sell to businesses for some reason.
Yeah,
But
and Hoonigan, when you like you guys talked in the podcast, a few weeks ago. Hoonigan isn't what it was.
no,
and it's never going to be, especially now that Blocks, no longer with us.
Yeah.
It's.
How do you feel about? I was going to ask you this earlier when you guys were talking about the your Ken Block unicorn on the wall.
Oh.
How do you feel about the Ken Block video they just released after he passed away?
I haven't watched it.
Yeah,
I want to watch. Part of me wants to watch it.
It makes me uncomfortable watching
Yeah.
it because he's not here anymore and they're still profiting off of him.
Yeah.
And I don't like
But
that.
That's across and like Johnny Cash.
Yeah.
How many flipping Johnny Cash shirts that people have, and Johnny's been, even his late wife June's gone. Like his kids are getting it, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I would. To me, that's different. Like if it wasn't actually him doing the driving, and if it wasn't something that was filmed before his passing, I would be more annoyed if they like put a 43 on a car and had
In memory of or whatever.
Yeah, like to me, that's profiting off of his passing. Where like this video would have come out regardless of what happened.
That's fair.
And let's be honest, he'd want it out, right? Like he filmed the video for a reason.
Well, I would also say I somewhat agree with that, just because his daughter and his wife are still actively
in it.
like they're both racing.
Yeah,
like they're both competing.
And she's
doing
killing it right
she's
now.
doing Formula One
she's
school.
in the.
His daughter is huge potential there.
Yeah.
Like you could, like there's no doubt in your
good
mind
genetics.
that exactly. Like there's no doubt that that's Block's daughter for sure.
Yeah, that was cool that she started doing Formula One school or the Formula One Academy or something.
I mean, I had mixed feelings on it, saying, because again, it almost seems like that's kind of what they're doing, especially with the sale and now, Wheel Pro's doing that nonsense, so to speak, which I'll probably get a phone. It's funny. I got a phone call from them, the rep, from down south, like a week ago. Hey man, anything? I'm like, no,
not from y'all. No.
Oh,
It killed me. I had to place an order from them. They were the only ones that had a spacer lift kit we needed in stock from Ready Lift.
See, when I was trying to get the axles, and I'm gonna sound like a complete, cheap ass or whatever. Terraflex had some of the cheapest front chromo axles.
Yep.
And I was like, hey, I called them. I was like, hey, you guys I want a set. Call me back the next day. Hey, we don't have them in stock. Nobody has them. I'm like, what? I was like, you own Terraflex now.
Yeah.
Well, it isn't. I was like, yeah, I know it doesn't quite work that way. Whatever. Well, they'll be assembled and then they'll be shit. I was like, Terraflex is in Utah, by the way. So I was like, I'm literally going to be a few hours from them.
Yep.
By the time you're saying they're going to ship out, I don't need them.
Yeah.
You said you had. Well, can we just try not to get frustrated because again, he's just a rep. It's not like
it's just a guy in a cubicle somewhere.
Exactly. So I was like, no, I'm good. That's when I called East Coast and like, we got them when you want. I was like, I don't need them now.
East Coast is phenomenal.
Yeah, bet. And I was like, sweet.
Yeah, they're one of those small companies that.
Yep.
And they make stuff happen.
Yeah.
Because their customer service is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
not sponsored by them, but I'll talk good about them all day.
100%. I make my own headaches because I'm doing everything to avoid buying from warehouses.
Yeah. Well, we do the same. I do the same thing with the podcast. Is I don't want to partner with any big company.
Yeah.
So you want to reach out to the smaller companies and work with them all the time, no matter what.
But there again, even getting back to what you were talking about with the China stuff, that plays hell for a business. Anybody that's in business for themselves.
Yeah, it's getting stuff from China.
Or even working with the smaller companies. It's cool because you're supporting each other. It's awesome. It's great. But they can't offer the same discount because they got to pay the bills.
Yeah.
They can't write that off like a big company. Well, they'll just, it's all right. What you say that, but BFG's done announce that they are pulling back hugely in sponsorships this coming year.
Yeah.
Huge.
Yeah, because they belong to Michelin.
Yeah, and Michelin 4 or 5 weeks ago just shut down their plant in Oklahoma and laid off 1,400 people. Like that.
Well, it's done.
And that was a BFG plant or a Michelin plant?
It was
all the same.
It's pretty much all the same.
I mean, so much of Michelin's business is OE tires off the assembly line, and that's basically a complete grinding halt right now.
Yeah.
Even with the strike over, it's the auto industry is going to be a nightmare for the next 5 years.
Yeah, 5 years exactly. 5 years. Because I mean, as soon as
it's coming.
Well, yeah, as soon as Mopar,
it's here.
It is. As soon as Mopar was within less than 3 days of them settling their strike.
Yep.
They said, okay, who's doing voluntary layoffs? They asked for volunteers for layoff. They started doing voluntary layoff
within 3 days.
Within 3 days of ending their strike.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing: you guys can get mad at me, unions or whatever. You can't keep paying somebody $40 a flipping hour.
Yeah.
When they've been retired for 20 to 30 years.
Yeah.
Like, oh, well, cops do it with a pension. Well, that's a little different. Dude got shot at. Like, I could understand a little bit more.
Well, even then, pension funds are on the union. They're not on the company.
Right.
They're like the town's not paying that. That's an investment fund through the union.
Whereas I don't care if it's Ford, Chevy, GM, whatever, they're still paying Joe Schmo.
Who retired in the 90s.
Yeah, X amount of dollars.
Yeah.
Well, how long do you think that's not going to affect the bottom line?
Yeah.
And the company's not going to lose. Their investors don't want to. They invest in the company to make money, not to lose money.
Yeah.
So where's that going to go? It's going to go to me and you trying to buy a new vehicle.
And I think I know
or a tire or whatever.
One of the big points on that union negotiations were all the new EV factories that Ford built and Stellantis is building and all this crap that
Their
they're
EVs start just failing.
Well, and at the end of the day, that was what drove it politically. Was the unions like, no, we're unionizing this new assembly line, this new factory, and the manufacturers are already going, no,
I was just looking up. I'm a building inspector, so just like looking at things.
This was built in '79, by the way.
That's fine. No.
Yeah, same year as my house.
Ooh, nice.
No, Toyota already came out and was like, we're not doing EVs.
Yeah.
We're going to focus on hybrid because that's
And the hydrogen shit is cool.
And I saw an interview where they got. Why did Toyota get ripped on so bad for that in the political
Because it's
realm?
cool stuff. Because the government's not backing it yet.
Well, no, they just said we don't have a problem with hybrids is smart.
Yep.
Because
EV is dumb.
Yeah, EV is dumb. They just said hybrids are the smarter way, and they didn't go that because we are backed by this or some dumb reason. They literally laid out point by point why they view EVs as the better choice, and I'm like, that makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah, I wouldn't own it. I'm a big gas guzzling V8 dumb redneck, basically hillbilly, whatever you want to call me, with lots of tattoos. But I'm not going to own a hybrid.
No.
But I'm like, if a bunch of these people want to buy hybrids, and that still allows me to be the dumb guy on the racetrack or having fun on the trails with my friends. Hey man, you guys go buy all the EVs you want. The hybrids rather. Sorry.
Yeah, we'll buy your EV credits. Our dealers will buy your EV credits.
That's how Mopar got away with what they were doing. They spent how many billions of dollars buying credits from Tesla?
Yeah.
Guys,
it's the only game. That's the only reason we had the Hellcat and the TRX.
Yeah.
And that's also the only reason Tesla stayed afloat is because they were selling all their credits.
Right. Yeah. And it's also game. Why Dodge is in the fucking shitter right now because they're out of money.
Well, the other thing, getting back to the unions, one of the things that a lot of like the part-time workers are complaining about is they weren't getting the benefits because they were working like 2 hours less.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they were considered part-time, but they weren't getting the perks, even though they've been there the same amount of time as a full-time worker. Kind of get that.
Sure.
But at the same time, if you're not happy with your job, go find another job.
Yeah.
Especially if you're on the assembly line. You're doing the same thing.
Yeah.
150 times a day.
Yeah.
Standing in the same spot. Tightening the same bolt. It's easy. You make good money doing what you're doing. I'm sorry.
I see both sides of it. Like as a small business owner, I look at it and go, "This is bullshit." But the other side of it is, if I was that guy, I'd want more money too.
Yeah. That's all of us. That's
right. But at the same time, I'm the person that's like, I want more money. I'm gonna find it over here.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, as long as I'm happy and my family's taken care of, I don't have to stay at this one spot.
Right.
Correct.
You know, if you got a skill set,
it's the millennial in all of us. We're just willing to change jobs and float around as long as we stay happy, a good life work balance. It's.
I don't know what life work balance is. I work when you're a business owner.
Work.
10 o'clock at night.
So work
6 in the morning.
Work is life, Tim.
Yeah.
Work at shitty. You're willing to leave to find another opportunity, opposed to our parents that stayed at the same job until they died.
Right. Yeah. The whole company man aspect.
That's if you know. Again, without getting political, if you look at the demographic, how things were for our parents, you know, the opportunities weren't there.
No.
Right.
They had to work that one job.
Especially, so my grandfather, who's still around, God bless him, he just retired at 83 this year.
Damn.
He turned the family business over to my uncle.
Young.
Yeah. Yeah.
So my grandma just turned 90.
Yeah. He's 80. He just turned 83 this year. He finally just turned the business over to my uncle. And when he was coming up, it was, you didn't complain at your job because there wasn't a lot of, especially out here in this rural area that we're from, out in this this side of the county. You didn't complain because there wasn't a whole lot of
You're
jobs.
just happy to have a job.
Yeah, you were happy to have a job.
Yeah.
You were happy to bring money home to provide for your kids.
Yep.
Of course, families were bigger back then. My mom is one of 4, and then my grandmother, she's one of 9,
Damn.
8 or 9.
I guess that tracks. Mine are the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now, people aren't having kids, so they don't have to put up as much money.
Yep.
So then they're like, oh, I want to go travel. I want to Instagram famous, whatever.
Yep.
Oh, look at me. And it's like, well, if you have, a huge family, you can't do that. And if you're constantly job hopping, it makes it harder
Yeah.
to provide. So I can see both sides, but I don't know. It's
What you want in life.
yeah, it's whatever you want.
Yeah. Yeah, you just one or the other. You can't have everything.
Yeah, so you can either sit there and complain about how you're not making enough, or take your skills somewhere else if you have skills.
Yep.
And make more money.
Yep.
That's just my opinion. Not that it's worth a whole lot.
So speaking of the kind of going back, speaking of the EV stuff, have you guys seen Edison Motors? Have you seen Edison Motors?
I have not. I'm not familiar.
It is
educate me.
A EV semi truck.
Oh,
but it's based. No. It's based on the locomotive concept.
Oh, okay. Good.
So it's a diesel engine charging batteries.
That's a hybrid.
That's a hybrid. It's not EV. It's hybrid.
It's hybrid.
Well, so it's
diesel
diesel
electric hybrid.
Diesel electric hybrid.
It's
So
also the same
you have my
technology that's in
attention.
every
So
cruise ship.
it's a diesel electric hybrid that's entering production in the United States.
Okay, I take
It's
that back. I
sweet.
saw a 2-minute clip. It's a weird looking truck, right?
Yeah.
It's not. Yeah,
so
it's
he
not
explained
a
why it's
normal
weird looking because everyone's like, it's not aerodynamic. Be like, all right, well, the 100,000-pound load I'm pulling also isn't aerodynamic,
Yeah, I would say-
so it doesn't matter
yeah.
what the fuck the truck looks like.
Yeah.
They're cool. I've been following them for a while. That's going to be groundbreaking in the industry.
It's funny, and I have the video saved because I sent it to a couple people. I have a buddy who's a big exotic car guy, and he's in love with the Lucids, which is basically a Tesla squish.
Yeah.
I think it's hideous, but that's beside the point. And
they have
he was
1,200 horsepower.
it's
ridiculous.
But they're also literally made from Amazon parts.
Yeah.
because the company was going bankrupt, so the production team was using personal credit cards to buy materials to finish the first run of cars.
That's
it was
dedication.
It was a
man.
whole nightmare. It was a big nightmare.
I mean, it's a nightmare, but that's some dedication right there.
Yeah, it was like investors were selling shit off. It was wild. Anyway, the
Now they're everywhere. I see. I see multiple.
there's
a day.
a great video clip, and we can probably link it when you post this. I'll send it to you. It's a TikTok reel, and it's a guy interviewing a logging truck driver out of British Columbia, and basically debunks EV semis entirely because it's what it comes down to is it's a math problem.
It is.
For just logging trucks in British Columbia was his example he uses. There's roughly 5,000 trucks.
Yeah, I've seen this video.
Yeah, each truck would require 50,000 megawatts of power per day,
Damn.
which means he's got to carry.
I don't know what that means, but that sounds like a lot.
It's basically you would have to build a nuclear power plant just for this one company's trucks,
Right.
or just for these trucks that he's referring to.
Basically added up all the power for the 5,000 trucks for 1 day worth of work. They'd have to carry an extra 50,000 pounds in batteries
Jesus.
just to get through a day of work. Just to charge every truck would require a second hydroelectric dam power
God damn.
that they just finished building that took 15 years and cost $20 billion, and its output is only half of the power needed for the 5,000 trucks.
for one company.
For one company.
So Edison Motors with their diesel electric hybrids would be the way to go.
That's the reason Toyota has, because Toyota's done the math, and I'm not stuck like you said earlier. I'm not stuck on any one brand. The problem is I follow common sense.
Yeah.
But
as where hybrid, you don't have our power infrastructure. There's this guy Peter something. He's like a geopolitical type guy that studies all this stuff, and he's really big on green energy. Not that I am, but I pay attention to some of his stuff. And he was talking about, he goes, even if we start it right now, and it's going to take $1 trillion basically to build out what we need for the power grid. He goes, if we start it right now, it's still 10 to 15 years before it's feasible.
Yeah.
And the problem is the battery technology. The lithium ion batteries are not. They're crap when it comes.
Yeah.
They're technically. I mean, they're the best thing we have right now.
Yeah.
But in the long term of things, they're not. It's not feasible.
Yeah.
That's
what
why
they're trying to do.
Like Toyota, you keep coming back to Toyota with the hydrogen. the hydrogen electric stuff is really cool.
It is. The hydrogen program is interesting.
Yeah.
The problem is
that
hydrogen goes boom.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. It
At
goes
the,
boom.
at the end of the day,
I think it was a blimp that did that, right?
Yeah.
It's hybrid, especially a plug-in hybrid or selectable hybrid, which is most of the hybrids on the road now, solves all of the problems we have tomorrow.
Yeah.
You can argue minus recycling the lithium-ion batteries.
My wife's hybrid Santa Fe gets 36 miles to the gallon.
Right.
It's amazing.
And let me guess, she can push a button and go from gas to electric, right?
Whenever she wants.
So
Yeah.
The way it should, what we should be focusing on is places that have pollution issues. LA, DC, cities where people are sitting and idling, right? You make those your electric only areas, right? Like I think Paris.
But again, I think the problem with that is that you still don't have the infrastructure to support this.
But you don't need it, because what it comes down to is if you're not moving.
A lot of people also don't own cars, so it's all Uber.
Yeah, it's a lot.
But
of
if
public.
if you're parked, let's say you're sitting in bumper to bumper traffic in downtown DC, your electric vehicle is not consuming its battery. So your 300 miles of range is still 300 miles of range. When you roll 20 feet to the next stop sign, you've only covered your 20 feet of your range, right? That your regenerative braking, all that stuff.
Because your motor isn't running when you're not moving,
Correct.
and like it is with a combustion.
Right. So like if you take, like I've in arguments I've always used the Jeep 4xe as an example, right? You have
Did you just recall all of those?
yeah, that's a fire issue. It's
Whatever.
Just a
that
fire.
goes back
You
to the
say just a
battery.
fire issue?
Yeah, it just bursts into flames. It's like a hoverboard. If you leave it plugged in for too long, it
If you
catches
get into
fire.
an accident in Tesla, they catch fire
They just
20
burn
days
forever.
later.
And they never go out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they never go out. It takes like 30 days to pull one out.
If you lived in Ashburn and you commuted to DC every day, it's a miserable lifestyle.
Oh God.
But you could get in your Jeep.
We've done it.
You could drive down 66, and when you hit the river, you push a button, you go into electric mode. You have 35 miles. You drive the 3 miles to your parking garage. You park, you get out, you go to work. You get back in your car, you're in electric mode for 3 miles, you hit the river, push the button, internal combustion turns back on, and you drive to work. Or you drive home.
They're
And
kind
then-
of doing that in New York. You saw where they announced in New York they're going to start congestion tax or something like
Yeah,
that.
we're going to do that in Virginia.
But that's
They were going to charge you per mile you drove. Because
which they Virginia it didn't pass though, right?
Yeah, no, it didn't pass.
In New York, it has. If
Yes.
I'm not mistaken, they have
Yeah.
implemented this in
Yeah.
New York City.
Yeah,
Yes.
but there's also like all the no idle laws, right? That's why we have that god awful auto stop start in modern cars. Oh God! Which like all that's going to be is a $10,000 repair as soon as you're out of warranty. Like
Yeah.
that's not solving any problems.
Just a stop start eliminator fixes that.
Yeah.
That's what I put in the Compass that we had.
Yeah, the problem is the EPA outlawed that shit.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, you can't buy those anymore.
Yeah. Like
So
you can't,
like
I
I
was
used
talking
to,
to someone that just put one in.
I used to be able to disable it through JScan for people. JScan had to remove it as an option from their app.
Wild.
Yeah.
so there's
Not for on-road use.
Yeah. The only way to do it is to basically cause a malfunction. Like on the Jeeps, you can unplug the hood sensor and it'll disable it, but then you have a warning light for your hood sensor.
Yeah, I
on
mean
your
it's the
dash all
same thing
time.
with the diesels where
Yeah.
these cats were like 12-watt valve swap and everything, especially
Yeah.
like the 6.4s were such junk.
Yep.
The 6.4 liters and the Fords and like 08 to what, like 11 they only made.
Yeah.
International only made that, which International sold out. International's no longer American.
Yep.
International trucks are
Cummins is no longer American.
Yeah, International trucks like a year or two ago they were one of the last Americans and they're basically Volkswagen. It's one.
Yeah.
It's like Volkswagen's conglomerate now.
Yeah,
Has
it's
Volkswagen Auto Group.
yeah,
Vag.
whatever.
It is. It's Volkswagen Audi Group.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, they
But
own,
it was basically one of their sister companies or whatever has bought them. But anyway, when guys were doing those swaps, they were going in with their tuner. They had to tune the automatic transmissions. Well, one part of that tune was that they would turn the check engine light off and all that other stuff off because you put a manual 12-valve Cummins motor in it. Now, if you do that, one of the guys was telling me he did it, and he can't get the customers complaining because the check engine light stays on, and he's like, I can't turn it off.
Yep.
It's because they made it, or any of the guys that were using the programming said, hey, we're no longer allowed to turn this off. It has to stay on.
Yeah, like HP tuners, all those guys have to restrict what you're able to do so they don't get fined.
You're technically now in the Commonwealth of Virginia, you're not supposed to pass state inspection if any of that stuff's been tampered with.
Wild.
EGR, even an EGR delete is technically not supposed to pass.
Wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the Commonwealth of Virginia. Yeah. They're getting that, and it doesn't matter whether your county had because you guys know, here in Frederick County, we have no admissions.
Yep.
We don't have to do admissions.
Yeah, we don't need. Clark doesn't either.
Okay, so and
It's a good life.
right, but in Loudon, of course,
Yep.
15 miles down the road in Loudon or Fairfax or any of that stuff, you have to do it. Even if your county doesn't have admissions, you're still not you're not supposed to pass state inspection if you've messed with
because you can
anything.
fail for messing with your cat. State,
any of that
state
stuff.
inspection.
Yeah, now they added if it's illuminated, it doesn't matter what the code is. If it's illuminated, you fail safety, which we've had a couple people for
check engine light.
Yeah,
Which is
Wild.
awesome. Which is awesome when the person doesn't
when
tighten
you
their
own a
gas
Jeep,
cap up.
yeah.
Remember the old GMs that were bad about that.
the old GMs they all do.
Do they
it.
still do it? I don't know. I haven't
my Jeep does
messed
it all
with
the time.
Too many new GMs.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you don't tighten the gas cap up tight enough,
Yeah.
you're throwing a check engine light. So you're going to fail state inspection
Yeah,
because
gas cap.
honestly,
you did something simple.
the nice thing for the safety side of it, they're not plugging it in, so you can clear it in the parking lot as long as it doesn't come back on. You're good.
Just make it 50 feet. 50 feet.
Because I have one of the Jeep things is the thermostat rationality code.
Oh, yeah,
It throws
yeah.
a check engine light because their thermostat opened too slow one morning. Yeah, it's the dumbest
I
thing in
had
the
to deal
world.
with that. It was a pain in the ass.
Oh, don't Angie, don't listen to that.
You're three.
P0128.
Yeah, okay. I'm coming familiar.
I don't think 3.6s have that problem, or 3.8s don't have that problem. 3.6s do, or do they both?
3.6 is due, and his is a 3.6.
yeah.
Oh, because it's
Yeah.
a 15.
Yeah, 15.
Okay, sorry, I can't
yeah.
count.
But yeah, so it's I have a customer
Awesome.
who's a good customer, and I'm like, listen, you can replace your own thermostat. You don't need to pay me $100 to do this.
Right.
And he's like, all right, but I gotta get my safety inspection done. I was like, just clear it out. I hand the guy the keys, clear the code, because and just you'll be fine. And he's like, are you sure? I'm
I
like,
feel so dirty.
Yeah.
That's so wild.
So wrong.
but also visual inspection of a cat.
Yeah,
is also-
it's always been
yeah.
that way.
Yeah.
My Duramax failed the
That's
first
right.
year I got it inspected. The guy's like, it doesn't have a cat on it. I'm like,
It's a
pre-emissions,
diesel.
dude. He goes, it has one, and he referenced a California truck. I'm like, not a California truck.
Yeah.
He wouldn't let it pass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah,
that's
it's-
just somebody being a stickler.
Yeah.
But that's because he's probably scared to lose his license.
Right. Or he's already been dinged
He's already
twice
been-
that,
yeah,
that
'cause
month.
I
for
can-
shitty old
Yeah.
Duramaxes.
No,
I can tell you a story about a shop here in town that did that to another shop.
Ooh, what?
Well,
They-
you got screwed by another shop too. Not nearly
we
that bad.
we may or may not have sent the state police to a couple places, but yeah, for passing things that were just are unpassable. I don't do it lightly. We had a guy.
We might be fighting. I got a beef with that.
Well,
This was over a guy, basically a customer of a normal shop here, like a regular Joe Schmo
Yeah.
shop, not like an aftermarket shop, kind of like
Yeah.
you are, like what I do. They have their inspection license. They had a customer had a diesel truck that he had just got it, I think, and it was deleted. Okay, that's what it was. I'm not condoning it. I'm not yes or no,
Yeah,
whatever. It is what it is.
they exist.
They slapped a rejection sticker on it because
it was deleted?
because it was deleted. This is one of their normal customers. So the guy doesn't say anything. He has this rejection sticker. He peels it off because there's nobody stopping. He peels it off, waits a week, goes to another shop. Everything's still in place, so it looks like it's still normal, right? And of course, you said some people don't plug it in, so it looks normal to the naked eye. Shop looks at it. They check the brakes, check tires, check front suspension, all that good stuff. Then they look at it. All the stuff's in place.
It looks like it's all there.
And the guy even goes, why is there no sticker on there, the inspector? And he goes, it was overdue by a month or two, and I didn't want to get pulled over, so I thought it'd be better if I just scraped the sticker off so the cops wouldn't notice. Seems like a legit excuse, right?
I do it all the time.
Right.
I should have done it.
I'm gonna do it probably tomorrow because my inspection is
I got a
dead.
court date in February for my expired inspection.
Yes. I have a stack of tickets in that room I can show you for that crap. So anyway,
The
guy-
is theft.
so the guy, the inspector passes this truck.
Yeah.
The guy, within a week of getting the freshened sticker on it, goes back to his normal shop that originally rejected to get other work done. Not to be like,
Are
oh,
you
hey, look
fucking
at
kidding me?
Yeah.
See,
Goes
I wouldn't
back
do
to-
that.
No,
I would've
that's
done
Goes
that.
back to the so this shop sees the sticker. Is like, what'd you do? He goes, oh, I just went here and they passed it. So that shop got in a hissy fit, even though they didn't do any work. This guy literally just went to the
That's-
shop to get a sticker,
Yeah, it's a dick move.
and the shop called the state cops on them because
That's dick
right,
move.
yeah, that's
But
what I have a
if it
problem
looks
with.
good from the outside, and you have no intimate knowledge of the truck.
Right. And that's what the inspector, look, everything was in plate.
Yeah.
And the guy even owned up to it. It was like, yeah, I scraped the sticker up, blah, 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 blah. So now I don't know
But it's
where
also-
I don't know where the legality of this is going to
It's
fall.
also in the state inspection system. So that inspector could have gone back and see that it failed a week ago.
Yeah.
The one that passed it could have gone back and saw that it failed a week ago. And
But
failed
most
for the
of them
same
don't look
reason.
at that.
No,
Yeah.
they don't.
Most of them don't look. 'Cause, you know.
Due diligence.
So
Well, you're trying to not also accuse your
Correct.
customer. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, for all he knew, that might have been a potential new customer for long
Right.
term. He didn't
Right.
know that guy was going to go back to his
Yeah.
normal, quote
Yeah.
unquote, normal shop. So he's like, you know, you don't want to accuse the person of being a liar.
I've done the opposite. We had a guy come in. He bought a Jeep used, brought it to us, and he's like, "Yeah, I want to, just have you guys look it over. Like, I'd love to do a lift, wheels, tires, all this stuff." We put it up in the air, and like,
Rotten frame.
not rotten. Like, I mean, it didn't exist. There was no frame rail
Ooh,
left,
Nice.
and then like control arm brackets. I mean,
Flexing. Barely holding on.
bubblegum weld doesn't describe it.
Was that the Bondo Jeep?
Oh, boy.
Yeah. And then like we started digging deeper into it and like realized things were bondoed over, and it was like freshly
on the frame?
painted. Yeah,
Bondo on the frame.
over the rust holes.
Nice.
And it was just like it just escalated, got worse and worse and worse and worse.
I would have used spray foam, not
then-
Bondo.
Right?
You are my people.
At least put some effort into it, right?
I'm just
Ball
joking.
joints are shot, tires are all,
I like the clip. I'm just joking.
Yeah,
I'm just joking.
So I'm like, hey man, I got bad news. Like,
It's roached.
yeah, I was like, this Jeep's totaled, and he's like, what do you mean? I just bought it. I'm like, ugh. And like, I look at it, and like, this was in August, and it has like a July inspection on it, and I was like, listen, like, we're not an inspection station. You can try and take it somewhere else to see if it would pass.
Right.
I don't think it would go through the whole thing. He ends up basically annoyed, and he's like, what? How do I want to return the car? Like, it's worthless. You can't sell it. He's not going to get $1 out of it. He just paid $5,000 for it.
Oh, God.
So he ended up doing a bunch of research. It sat at our shop, and then Stadies show up. Trooper walks around it, and I'm like, hey, if you want us to put it up in the air, just let me know. He goes, no, I got 15 violations. I haven't even looked underneath of it yet.
Jeez.
He called the rollback. Customer showed up with the title and the receipt, went with the Stady back to the gravel lot, walked out of there with a check.
Damn.
Ooh.
Yeah, because it's in Virginia, it's illegal to sell a car with rejected inspection,
yeah.
and that car never should have passed.
Yeah.
Like, and it wasn't like oh, one ball joint was bad. I mean, this thing was total.
Roached,
like the
yeah.
Jeep should have been crushed.
Yeah.
Most Jeeps should be though.
Yeah, and then
This is true.
the other and then
not
we
a
get
Jeep
the
person,
opposite.
sorry.
We get people who come in. They're like, oh, like you guys did my brakes like 3 months ago, and I just failed saying
Oh,
I
I
need
hate
brakes.
that.
And I'm like,
You're in
God
Northern
damn it.
Virginia. You drive in traffic, stop and go traffic every day, probably.
Well, yeah, but sure enough, we'll look at it, and brakes are brand
Good.
new, and it's like, well, let me guess, you went to Virginia Tire and Auto. I'll call them out publicly. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
but that's
So the shop that I cut my teeth in working, Merchants and TB.
we get a lot of inspectors that are just failing you to sell stuff.
I've been
The most common thing we sold at my NTB was sway bars because customers didn't know what they were and it was a state inspection
Yeah.
fail
Yep.
point.
So we
all the time.
here in this area, because I talk to a lot of the parts store managers, and I know a lot of the, my family's been out here forever. Like we've had a shop. My big rig shop's been here for almost 40 years. My cousins, the shop up the road here, which is my cousins, they've been here for well over 50 years now. And so, we know a lot of the shop owners. In Winchester, I don't know as many because Winchester has changed.
It's a lot of turnover recently in Winchester.
Yeah. Winchester, we see a lot of the people coming out of the city. We won't even get into that. And they're coming here. Yeah.
Some undesirables.
Yeah, some undesirables.
What did Hillary call them? Deplorables?
Yeah.
Those ones.
Yeah, the real ones. Anyway, but you're seeing some of these shops, and this is even some of them that have been here for our kids went to school, one of them types things. We're seeing a lot of that where a lot of shops are slow right now.
Yep.
I mean, some of them are desperately slow. Like they desperately need work, like staring at four walls, and they're doing dumb stuff like that.
We'll have a conversation after we're off air because
they're like, hey, this won't pass inspection, and the problem is they're starting to do it to, say, a parts store's manager's mother.
Yeah.
And this guy has a really good reputation, and he's a personal friend of mine. He's a personal friend of like 3 other owners of shops that are well known in this area. And they didn't fail it because they failed it because of this, and it's like, what?
They failed it because they're hungry for money.
Because they're hurting. I'm not saying it's wrong, right, or indifferent, but they're hurting, so they're like, tell them they need this.
Well, yeah, that's the shitty thing about the state inspection, like, because you can tell people that it's going to fail for this and they have to get the service done.
Yeah.
And then they have to get the service done.
Right.
Like, they don't have an option if they want to keep driving.
Because then if you do like some of the other guys we've talked about, they go to another shop, they get a sticker. Well, then you start a feud between shops, and they get pissy. And it's like, well,
and that's my thing is like I'm not gonna fuck with other people, but like you start putting the blame out on me, and it's like we've had the guy that works with Alex.
Okay.
We've done a ton of work on his Jeep, going through a divorce, real tough part of his life. Like he's just stressing it. And he had a ton of issues with his Jeep, and we slowly fixed him over time just for budget reasons, whatever. And like just when everything's great, like we did his brakes, we did brake lines. Like right after we did the brake lines, a caliper locked up. So like we did all this work. We got ball joints in it, new steering, all the tires, everything. And he goes to get it inspected, and the inspector's like, you need ball joints. So then he's in my office going, the ball joints you put in are already bad. Blah, blah. And I'm like, Joe, like we use those ball joints on every ball joint job. Like I've never had one come back that quick. Right. Jack it up. I take him out in the shop. I'm like, your ball joints are fine. Right. And he's like, then why are they telling me I failed? I was like, I don't know. I'm going to send it to the guy that we use for inspections. We'll see what he says. Comes back passed. And he's like, what the fuck? And I'm like, dude, that's what people do now. Yeah. And it's like, and you make it my headache, I'm gonna be pissed.
Well, just like big industry in the United States is everyone year over year they want to see profit made. So the only way to see profit is to steal it from somewhere.
Right.
So they're stealing it from their customers.
But it's just it's not
rough,
especially in Jeeps like that. I think I get it on things that are maybe a little bit more reliable, where you need to make up something to sell. But like it's
so was
you could find something on the Jeep we need to replace.
Like,
come on.
What was it? Donut did the top 10 most unreliable vehicles, and Jeep was like number 5 this year. With in the top 10, Jeep had 5 vehicles in the top 10.
Yeah, we've had it like, oh, I need my parking brake serviced, and it's like, what? Okay, and it's like, oh yeah, I failed inspection for my parking brake, blah 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 blah, and then we get under it, we do the parking brake, and like the front pads are toast. And I'm like, you got 1 mil on the front pads, like you need front pads.
That's just where the inspectors stopped.
That's awesome.
Right, and that's what I'm saying is like they you literally had the opportunity to sell these front pads, or it's even as simple as it's even as simple as like, hey, you're low. Like it's not hard to sell. People especially by us, people want to spend money.
That happened to me with the Sonata. Is my Sonata failed this year for the parking brake being not adjusted, and I'm like, cool. Like, what's the cost to fix it? Like, what's wrong with it? He goes, that's an hour of labor for us to diagnose. I'm like, how do you know it's broken
if you didn't diagnose
if you haven't diagnosed it? Virginia Tire Auto.
Yeah. What? It's rough, man.
I legitimately hollered at him.
Yeah.
I felt like a child in a store, but I was hollering at the manager. I'm like, how the fuck do you operate a business like this?
The other side of it, too, is what they quote you to fix it. Like
it's like $145 an hour.
God,
I'm such a cheap whore then.
Yeah, I know. I did the same thing.
Oh, God.
We had a Tacoma, newer Tacoma. Guy off-roads a lot, so he calls me. He's like, hey, do you think I need front brakes at 40,000 miles? I'm like, yeah, possible. You're probably on the edge based on.
It's my son's.
Based on how like all the bumpers and everything, all the weight and stuff. Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
We're still on. We're still good.
You're still good.
Yeah, we're good. We'll play with that in a minute.
Okay, I'm sorry. I thought I had enough cord to reach.
And I'm like, he was like, yeah, I just got failed for front brakes, and I'm like, all right. And he goes, honestly, that's not the part that bothers me. Like I can do my own brakes, but. They quoted me $850 for pads and rotors. And I'm like, we're Virginia Tire and Auto. And I'm like,
you guys really don't like them.
No, I don't. They're the worst. And I was just like, I'll tell you what, Rick. If you need front brakes, we charge $400 for front brakes. And he's like, really? I'm like, yeah. He goes, all right, I'm going to pull the wheel off tonight. I'll let you know. Calls us the next morning. He's like, I had 3 millimeters of brake pad left. I'm like, so you're a little low. He goes, yeah, isn't it fail too? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, all right, schedule me for 2 weeks for for front brakes, and I'm gonna go yell at these guys. And he went back to get his, and then they tried to charge him $1 for the reinspection.
Yeah, Virginia does that now.
That's a Virginia thing.
And when he goes, I loved him telling me the story. He's like, I lost my mind, and he goes, I wasn't gonna pay them, and I was like, you know what? And he said he pulled out his wallet, he pulled $1 out of his wallet, dropped it on the desk, and goes, "Congratulations, that's the last $1 you'll ever get from me."
I would have gone to the
Well
bank
played.
and got $1 in pennies.
Well played.
Yes.
That's pretty well played.
$1
I mean,
in loose
the
pennies.
dollar penny, but so many people have done that now.
Yeah.
That's
Well, and at that point, you're just making the service advisor's job a headache, and it's really not their fault.
Yeah, they're just following orders.
But it's just like,
Yeah, it's gotten rough, man. Literally last week, 6.0 guy
God damn, sounds like Fords are unreliable.
has 300 some miles on a 6.0.
I got 300,000 on my Duramax, and
We got 300,000 on
Well,
a
so
Sonata.
it's funny. So here's where I'll dog.
Hell yeah, brother.
Here's where I'll dog on Duramax. So Zach Johnson that bailed me out, that
Yeah.
picked up our Jeep in a Duramax, came through, picked us, got us up.
yes,
So like 3 weeks ago,
It was hazing. Oh no.
it started missing.
That's the only thing I know about diesels,
Yeah,
so-
he was in Texas and he's getting ready to make a run out to, I can't remember where he was going, but it was hours and hours away. I think it was over in Arizona. He was going somewhere like that, and he gets 3 hours away from his house in Texas, and he is a shop owner as well.
yeah,
And he knows it is missing. And he's like, man, what the heck? And I think it starts hazing a little bit. And he's like, man, this ain't right. He's like, I'm not making a 8-hour journey on this. So he stops, has his dad come and get him, trailers the truck back, thinking it's an injector, right? It's going to be an injector. Gets it apart, looks down the hole, and there's a hole right down through the piston.
Oof.
That's about right.
Yeah, it cut down to the piston because you're in a Zuzu. You're in a Zuzu.
yeah.
Yeah.
Fords was in, look 6.0 and 7.3 Power Strokes. They're international. Dodge is obviously Cummins. Cummins has been a big rig motor forever, and then Duramaxes are Zuzus.
Yeah.
That's just
There's
what it
Suzuki
is.
logos on them. But I'll tell you what, my Duramax is so good. so good.
So good.
I put in 10 quarts of oil, and 3,000 miles later,
It's recycled.
I have 20 quarts of oil. That's how good my Duramax is.
Oh yeah, that's good stuff. I don't know. I don't like working on those. Like, I work on the Cummins. I work on the Cummins. I work on Power Strokes.
Maybe
I'll bring my truck out here to have you guys
No,
do those.
I
return lines.
literally refuse Duramax work.
Yeah, but you have like technicians, right?
Hey, you're a friend. No, not a friend anymore.
No, we have
Not
a
that
boy
good of a friend.
We have a guy that used to work for my family shop,
Yeah.
young Mennonite, and he has his own little shop that he built at his house. And he Duramax work. I'm like, here, just take it to this kid. I'm like, what? I'm like, I don't want to do
Is
it.
he affordable?
$70 an hour.
Oh,
yeah, I'm
done.
driving out here. I'll look at his name later.
I'm $80 an hour at our family's big rig shop. We're stupid.
God
We're
damn.
dumb. We're dumb. We're dumb. We're ignorant. Everything's paid for.
That's not the point.
We're not rich.
Not at $80 an hour.
Yeah, that's why we're not rich. So here's the thing about.
You should be charging double that for big rig work.
I know. Trust me.
And still be under the,
Yeah, I know.
the average.
Trust me, I know. Well,
Not your-
in
not your
Winchester,
call, huh?
in Highway Motors is a dealership here in Winchester, international dealer. They're I think like a 165 an hour.
Okay, so it is pretty low.
So
under
we're
that.
literally it's still
Yeah.
low. Now the Freightliner dealer, they're like 200,
Yeah.
200 and something.
Dude, the Jeep dealer next to me is like 190, and I'm like I think about
I
it.
still have people complain. You kidding me?
Well, it's because they've only ever done work with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you went up $5 since last year. Okay, go down the street. See what
No,
they got.
I'm trying to push my family to go more now. Like, because all through COVID, everybody went up. Everything's went up. Like the last 3 years, everybody went up. Why COVID? We never went up.
Yeah,
We stayed the same. And now the problem is we're now starting to feel the effect of it.
Yeah.
And it's like we need to do something about this. But yeah.
Oh, I learned the hard way. When you get busy, you have two options.
Yeah.
Hire more techs or raise your prices and see what happens. And I did it when I opened the shop. We were at $90 an hour, and within a week we had a month scheduled out.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh shit, okay, so we'll do aftermarket work at $100 an hour and leave repair at 90. And now we were scheduled 3 months out, and I'm like, shit. Okay, 110.
Yeah.
Oh shit, we're still busy. Hire a tech. Okay, cool.
But
We're still busy.
down where you're at, though.
Yeah.
I mean, that's still cheap.
yeah. We're still cheap compared to everybody else, but it's. I mean, if you're busy and cheap, like you can go up without.
Oh yeah,
missing a
no.
beat.
I got guys all the time that call us. They get mad because like, oh, I need an overhaul. Or I need. I have a few. We still stretch frames and build custom like dump trucks or something for guys every once in a while. Yeah, we do like.
I can't wait to see the shop.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do big. We'll do some big stuff
That's cool.
out of a small shop. It's for a big rig shop. It's
Yeah.
small, I'll take you to both places when we get done here. But I'll tell them 3 to 4 weeks. What? And of course, it's different in this realm on that side of things.
Yeah.
Because these guys use their trucks.
It.
They need their truck to make their living. That's how they bring income in.
Yep.
If the truck doesn't move, they don't make money. So it's a little different. But literally book 3 to 4 weeks out.
Yeah.
And we have been for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
And of course, we've been doing this. Over the last, my grandfather started this over 30 years ago, and it's had its ups and downs, really hard. And for the long time, because how far you guys have seen how far of a drive it is out from Winchester from here, we stayed at such a low price because it was like, well, we're all the way out here. Who would want to? Yeah, you had to figure out how to draw things out. And of course, they're old school. They don't like internet. They don't. My family is like
still using paper invoices.
Yeah.
I'm not organized enough for that.
Yeah. Oh God, I hate it because I'm the same way. I'm like, I got to keep files in every flip. No, screw this. I want it all on the laptop or I'll back it up on a hard drive. But my gosh,
I could log in right now and I could see everything going on.
With online, QuickBooks Online, all that other stuff. Now you can do that. That's how I like to do things because it's just convenient for me. But I grew up the old way. I know the old ways. Yeah. And we've never advertised. My family shop's never advertised. No internet. No, we don't take credit cards.
Damn.
And we're
honestly
still.
I was at somewhere yesterday that didn't
might be
take
how
cash.
you can afford to stay at 80 hours an hour.
We don't lose that. Was it 2.5%?
If you're lucky.
Yeah. Well, when I had the website up and running. And I was doing resale that way. I would think that's what mine was, like 2.6. I had it down to 2.5.
Yeah, a lot of the online stuff is like 2.5.
Yeah, it was 2.5 for everything, which I can still do in person stuff because since I've shut the website down. But it's still. I think I was like, if you guys ever go up, I'm done. Because this doesn't. I don't care what you say. This does not benefit me.
Yeah, you bailed on the website too.
Yeah, that's a whole nother headache. But
I don't.
Now we still do have one website, and that's DirtNerdsOffroad.com.
Which you can buy T-shirts.
You can buy T-shirts and math tracks.
I've thought about redoing just like a Squarespace or a GoDaddy type small website, but not.
I got a guy for that.
And and I
can also I put his stuff on our website and just show it to him. Yeah. I mean, if you want to, we can do. We can do a
small fee. Small fee.
We could do a collection of shop.
I'll trade out my discounts for all the brands that I'm with for your.
No, I'm just saying.
I got that Moto bill. What's up?
Like your T-shirts and your hats. If you do T-shirts and hats, we could sell you T-shirts and hats on our website.
I've thought about doing something small like that, but you're right. So again, people that don't know, if you don't have a business, especially on the resale side, you're trying to compete with
it's impossible.
Full wheel parts and I like a lot of these companies. I know a lot of people, the higher ups of these companies, like Barnes Full Wheel Drive, competing direct with Moto-Built. Which you're not necessarily competing because you're all on the same kind of team there. But again, you're trying to pay for a website and catalog. The amount of data you got to do for all these brands is insane.
Also, as a customer, you've already got your stuff in that big company's website. You don't want to enter all your information again into another website to buy the same product you can buy somewhere else.
And I can't offer free shipping. When you're a small guy like us, man, it's that's what really killed me was well, so and so's got free. I can match prices because I'm not trying to get rich and I'm not greedy, so I can match prices of full parts. And guys like, how you doing that? I was like, because I don't need to make $1 million, dude.
Right.
Like, as long as I can feed my kids, pay my mortgage, I'm not greedy. But I'm not giving $150 away in free shipping for 4 44-inch tires. Because you do that, that starts adding up real fast.
But even the wholesalers don't do that anymore.
No, we're getting hit on the warehouse distributing charge me for shipping now.
We just had an argument with ATD because for whatever reason they have a warehouse in Harrisonburg. But their warehouse in Manassas is empty on Falcons. I'm like, we got to order 15 Wild Peaks, and we're going to pay $100 per tire to ship them from Harrisonburg.
You can't.
Yeah. And I'll put them on a trailer and drive down there and bring it back up.
I literally, we called our rep. I'm like, when are you guys restocking the warehouse? Oh, we don't know. What do you mean you don't know?
It's probably because they don't know when they're getting more in because
they have 100
foreign tire.
They have 100 plus.
Well, that's dumb.
In Harrisonburg.
That's dumb.
If I ordered them on the website, I'd have them in 2 days UPS from Harrisonburg at $100 a tire. And I'm like, just if I order 15 back order, put them on your supply truck that you get twice a day and deliver them on your route the next day, right? And the guy's like...
So here's the thing. Now you're doing their job for them. You're doing logistics for them.
Their logistics won't do it. Their system does not allow them to
Transfer tires.
to transfer a tire location to location. They allocate the tires however they want.
Yeah, the big company BS.
Yeah,
on
so
the
we
back
just have to check every morning till they're back in stock in Manassas.
So annoying.
And I'm like, like seriously, like,
And you're probably one of 5 shops looking for that same tire.
if that, it's probably us and Bull Run would be the only ones ordering 3720s.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, really?
That's
really.
True. Or maybe Trick. I don't know what Trick Trucks does. I don't know what.
Yeah, I don't know who they use.
I don't know who Maury's using. Maury just lives right down the road.
Okay.
Guy who owns the Chantilly and Winchester Trick Trucks.
The guy who owns the Frederick one lives in like down the road from me.
Okay. Yeah. Maury's been the owner of those forever. He's just a couple miles down the road.
Yep.
Went to school with his daughter.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah.
We're getting into the weeds.
Weeds?
Is there anything else you want to get into?
I mean, we can get into wherever you guys want.
We got coming up for 2024? Anything fun other than Trail Hero?
I probably will do Trail Hero again. At least
you're building the shop that you're going to take us to go see your truck that you're building.
Oh yeah, the 54 Ford. I'm doing that for Shawnee Springs Cannery and Market.
I think you just started that last time you were on.
Yeah,
Scratch was up.
Yeah, Scratch had just been out.
Yeah.
Anybody know Scratch? He did like 4 or 5 seasons of overhauling the Foos and all that fun stuff.
Yep.
So that wasn't me. So
it was probably me.
That was you.
Sweet. I was smart enough to turn my phone off.
You're the only person that doesn't use vibrate still.
No, it was not me.
Wasn't you? Oh, there's a
Oh no, it was me.
I was getting ready to say. Anyway, yeah, doing that truck. Scratch is actually hopefully coming back out of here again because I've got to get this thing done for Apple Blossom.
Let us know when he's up here.
Yeah.
So.
You guys want anything pinstriped? Anybody's listening?
Actually,
we actually are thinking about.
I'm
Zoom
trying to convince them
well, so
have
the new guy I hired at the shop does some pretty good pinstriping.
Really?
He daily drives a 60. Damn it, I'm gonna mess this up.
Yep.
67 Catalina, 68 Catalina.
Ooh. And he's at an off-road shop?
Well, he also has 2 OBS Suburbans.
Okay.
One on 39s.
Okay.
And an El Camino on a K5 chassis.
Which the worlds are starting to blend a lot. Like, have you guys seen what Morgan Clark's been doing out there on the West Coast? You know who that is?
Is he the guy that did that F100?
The MCD1 is what he is on YouTube.
No, I'll have to follow
Morgan Clark Designs.
Yeah. It's like the black F100
it says
pre-runner
SoCal,
thing.
Yeah, it's like a extended. It's not a 4-door. It's an extended cab. It says SoCal. It's
Maybe
SoCal.
different.
He built. Oh man, what's the guy that actually owns it though? I follow them both. I don't know. Morgan Clark. His sheet metal and fabrication is him and his crew, dude. They're on another level. It's phenomenal work. I drool when I see his stuff.
Yeah.
Let me see which one it is.
I've seen that.
Yes.
That's been going.
Yes.
Yeah.
I talked to him.
There's a
I'm like,
better
I
picture
hate you so much, dude. He's like, what? I'm like,
Yeah.
They get to build such cool shit out there too because we have no use for trucks like that out here.
Yeah, that's the one. I own multiple Densides. Like Densides are my favorite. Like Broncos and Denside pickups are like if I had to pick a brand, I'm just picking that because I'm partial to those trucks.
It's not even that there's no use for that truck here. You can't get that truck here to start that build.
No.
Because everything you get is Swiss cheese. And by the time you
I got
build
like
it...
4 or 5 of them, but yeah.
well, you need 4 or 5 of them to have one good one.
Yeah. But I have an extended cab like that same year and everything. And mine's already full drive. And I'm like, I hate you so much. He's like, what? I was like, that is literally... Make it a little more rock crawler so it has more purpose here on the East Coast. And I'm like, that's flipping perfect to me. He built his work, like just his sheet, man. His work is just phenomenal. It's
so
sick.
Good, yeah.
Like I'll get lost in a rabbit hole on his
that's
YouTube.
the stuff that we always complain about is there's no innovation in the 4-wheel drive market.
Yeah.
No,
that is innovation in the 4-wheel.
Yeah, it's starting to happen.
No, his thing is like it has to function.
Yeah.
But it looks like he wants it to look good too.
Yeah.
Look good and win, which is an
Yeah.
old clothing brand on the front row. But it's his stuff's phenomenal.
Yeah.
And I hate to say it that way, but I'm like such a fan of his work. It's dumb. He's crazy stuff.
I do think that's the one thing popping up in the off-road world is these smaller guys
They're
doing these
really cool
crazy builds
and he's doing some builds for some big names though.
Yeah.
Like he's like he's had some guys with some money come in and like here, make it happen, and he just knocks it out.
That's what I'm
apart.
waiting for.
Yeah,
I got actually.
I would
build
love
something
that.
cool.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of why I'm doing this Shawnee, like the 54 Ford for these guys, even though it's nothing like it's not off road. It's a truck. It's what I'm used to.
Kind of rat rowdy muscle car.
Yeah, kind of like we're somewhat restoring it. because it has historical meaning to this area and to that company. But they were like, we want it done. If you can't do it, we're going to find somebody to do it. I'm like, when I hear that, okay, I'll make it happen. I'll hire Scratch to come do the lettering because he's the best in the business. Yep. Like, I'll fly him in from Texas to make this happen as long as you guys are okay with it. Yeah, bring him in. Cool. Yep. Because that's what you need. I mean, like, I want to help everybody, but at the same time, if you're trying to make money in the business, you need somebody like that every now and then. Because that's how you make money.
When's he coming up? Or have you not scheduled that yet?
We haven't. His schedule's slow now, but of course, the weather being a little unpredictable up here. Yeah, you know,
we had 2 inches of snow last night.
Yeah. Like if you guys noticed when you came here, like there's no snow on the ground here, but you look at the mountain and the whole mountain's white.
Yeah, that was literally my house this morning at 2 a.m.
That was even like leaving my house.
We had house. When I walked out this morning, I took pictures of it. I had 2 inches of snow here on the ground. Of course, it's melted because it's warmed up, but the mountain's still white. Yep, because it's colder up there, obviously. But somebody said that the mile had like 3 or 4 inches of snow up there.
Damn,
I believe that. Yeah, because like I left my house, it was wet. Like there's no signs of snow this morning.
Was it Peters Mill or whatever? I think they were saying they had like probably 3 or 4 inches at the top of the mountain this morning.
The Shenandoah always gets more. Yeah, but then just going up like past whatever Bear Chase to get to your house, the top of that mountain had plow lines from where plow was pushed snow off the highway, and then I come back down the other side of the mountain to get to yours, and there's no snow.
Yeah, like then you come back up the mountain to get to my house in the snow again.
But no, the getting the 54 done's been a priority. We've been batting around the idea of actually doing a 79 because they have a 79 that they bought brand new within the company.
Oh, that's cool.
So. And they know that I'm a big Denside guy, so I'm thinking about we've been kicking around the idea when this truck's done doing a 79 Ford 4-wheel drive. Yep. So doing that one up, which is obviously right up my alley. Yep. Trail Hero for sure, as long as I can make throw some magic out there and don't break down too much and break anything.
Would you ever go out there not with a vehicle and just attend and help?
That's what I did.
For years you did that. So last year was your first year.
First year of taking a vehicle out. First time the family.
Great, it went really well, didn't it?
Yeah. Well, what's even better? What's even better is that was Angie's first time off the East Coast.
Oh wow. Man!
So she'd never been off the East Coast.
First and last road trip.
I'm like, what made it even better? We all got sick on the way back. So the morning we go to leave, Rich is like, Trail Hero ended. It's on a Saturday night. POD plays. We're all done. Sunday we do cleanup. Sunday night a bunch of us meet up for dinner. Monday morning is when I'm leaving to come back, and Rich is running around like with a chicken head cut off, trying to get vehicles rounded up because they got to get them to LA so they can ship them over to Japan to be over in time for Trail Hero Japan, which just happened last week. You got to plan that far ahead, shipping vehicles over.
It'd take a month to get through customs.
Yeah.
They got to be spotless to get through customs, so you got to clean them all up and get them
this
all.
is like October 6th or 7th. He's trying to get all these vehicles ready over to LA so you can ship these out to be ready for end of November.
Now he's probably scrambling to get them back for handlers.
Yeah. Well, it's on Neozumi now. Neozumi Pseudo, who has Pseudo Racing over there, is the one that pretty much does most of the Trail Hero Japan stuff. Which you should follow him because Neozumi's a really nice guy. So he was trying to do that. So we're like saying bye in passing, and I'm like, man, I don't feel good. I feel like crap. I couldn't taste my coffee. My coffee didn't taste right.
That's just West Coast coffee.
You need to get Gearhead coffee. Their coffee always tastes good.
Oh, you guys are on them. I was on somebody else. Yeah, I was on somebody else for a while, but I won't plug.
You can plug whoever you want. Yeah, we're fans of Gearhead. I like Gear. We sell
their coffee's actually really good.
It's really good.
I was going for a while. I was messing with Racers Coffee because they were coming to Trail Hero. They were for like a year or two. They were the official coffee of KOH.
Sure.
They actually have one that's
why
called.
You couldn't taste it because it wasn't good coffee. It wasn't Gearhead.
They have a coffee. I think it's even called Chocolate Thunder.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah. But I don't know what Kevin's doing because he's shut down a few things. But anyway, this was coffee from Sand Hollow Resort. So if you're going to go to Sand Hollow, make sure you look up Sand Hollow Resort. There's a plug. But
send the check. I don't know.
No, I had coffee and I couldn't taste it. It didn't taste right. I'm like, this is weird. Whatever. I wasn't feeling good. I felt like crap. So I load up the Jeep and we strapped down, say bye to Rich and some other people. And we head down around somewhere in New Mexico. My back really started aching. started aching. And
Did
then
you fall when you were unloading a Jeep? Because Tom's back hurts.
No.
Yeah.
No. I had the heated seat on.
Yeah.
Started sweating.
Yeah.
I was surprised you turned the heated seat off coming up here.
I can't do heated seats. I just get
really?
swamp ass.
Yeah, that does happen. But yeah, so the next 3 days driving across the country was really fun.
Yeah.
And the kids and nobody else got sick until we made it into Virginia the third day. And then Angie's like, my nose is stopped up.
Oh, they got it all from you.
Yeah. I felt rough. Yeah, so it was at Trail Hero was awesome.
Yeah.
There and back was a bit rough.
Yeah, I get that.
Knock on wood, I didn't break down.
Man.
It's called silent function.
Probably my wife. What time is it?
I don't know.
It is my wife. Oh, it's 3:11.
I don't pay attention.
Yeah.
When you guys say we're doing this, I'm like, nobody call me for the next 3 to 4 hours because I have no idea how long this is going to take, and I don't care. That's just how it goes.
Trevor knows that we're doing it, so that's what I'm sure.
Right.
I'm sure I'll walk into a pile of shit tomorrow at the shop.
Yeah. But no, just work, man. Just, Trail Hero. I have a bunch of ideas, and I don't like talking about my ideas because I've noticed, like, all of a sudden that idea became somebody else's idea.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, I've got a bunch of ideas and no money, so.
Well, that's part of my problem.
Yeah.
And then I pull a rabbit out the hat, and then I make that idea happen.
Yeah.
Or I make something happen. The problem is I've already talked to it with somebody else, and so-and-so's doing that same thing. Oh, really?
Yeah.
And it sucks. Not that I'm like this innovator. Or I'm like, I'm a nobody, but what I want to do is what I want to do. And,
Yeah.
one thing I am, if I can try to get it lined up right, I have most everything I need. I have a 37 Ford 1-ton truck.
Oh.
I have the cab, and my uncle was nice enough to give me a 110,000 mile second gen Dodge that the cab is rotted out on with a full-wheel drive dually short bed single cab with a 12 valve Cummins.
Oh.
And I think since the cab's already rotted on the Dodge, and I got
not saying anything.
and I got a 37 Ford that's a 1-ton, so the fenders are always bigger. The cabs are the same, but the fenders and hoods are bigger.
Yeah.
I think that'd be
badass.
Old school Fummins.
yeah. Lift it
I
like 38.
take this as
something like that.
motivation. For years, I mean, this goes back before the JL was even a thing. And I never even talked about it. I mean, it was before I had a shop, all of it. I was like, it'd be cool if I took one of those new Jeep 4-doors and put a 4-liter in it. Mm-hmm. And then never did it. And like 5 years later, Quadratec's
Now there's a kit.
That's SEMA.
Now there's a kit.
There's a kit.
Yeah. And I'm like, God damn it. If I'd done that in 2010 when I was living in an apartment, if I found a way to stick a 4-liter into a JK, I would be the guy with the kit.
My uncle's really bad about that because my uncle's been doing this and stuff since he was 15.
Yeah.
And he's done all kinds of stuff. But he'll be like, it'd be really good if we did this, this, and this. I'm like, you mean like this right here? And I'll show him. He's like, I had an idea 10 years ago. I was like, well, if you would have acted on it, guess what? We wouldn't be sitting here working on these filthy, greasy trucks.
We'd be doing cool shit.
Yeah. I got a good dad one that I'm actually legitimately working on. Like I've been teaching myself CAD, and
We need to talk more. I'm all the stuff that I've done. That's my weakness.
I am not the person to teach you CAD.
And
I don't want you, but if I have somebody else that's kind of dumb in it, we can bounce stuff off of each other.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because Bender had told me for years, and Bender still gets on me. He's like, don't like Bender's learning it, and Bender's been on this a long time. He's always done it the old way. He's like, dude, you're still young. He goes, you're what? You're mid? I'm like, well, I'm 36. He goes, well, you're still young.
Yeah.
Learn it.
Yeah.
Stop fighting
YouTube
it. Learn it.
University.
Yeah. Stop fighting it. Learn it. I don't care if it's on LinkedIn, LinkedIn Learning, YouTube, learn it. And I'm like, I got to take time to do that. I'd rather be physically doing. You shut up and do it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Shut up and do it.
Well, with all these programs out here too, like Send Cut Send and everything else, using CAD and making something that's actually usable.
Yeah.
You can have it to your doorstep in
Send
a few
Cut
days.
Send. You can send stuff to Cody at Laser Nut. You can send stuff, actually Motobuilt. You can actually team up with Motobuilt because Dan does it down there too. You can, if you got a design, you want to talk it over, you want to do a production run, you can do that with them. So there's so many options where it kind of makes you lazy because you don't have to learn.
What Tom's doing and what I mess with too, I just got a new phone. It's got a stylus. So the iPad with the pencil.
Okay.
That's what's made it super easy.
Yeah.
I found an app that it's on my iPad, but it's also on my computer.
Right.
And they sync to each other.
Okay.
So I can start something at work and then I can go home and finish it before I'm laying in bed and have it done in a day.
Yeah.
It's really for flat brackets and stuff, super simple.
Right.
I've gotten to a point where
You can still do like geometry and bends and stuff through those people too.
yeah, like Sandcut Send will. If I have to talk to them and figure out how they want me to like draw the bend. That way, like when you send them the file, they know where the bend goes and all that kind of stuff. But like you can, I mean, if you're making a flat piece of bracket or whatever, and you just want holes, you just want it cut out nice and clean. I did a set. We had a guy who bought a roof rack. And it was a prototype roof rack that had no mounting brackets. So he took a bunch of random hardware and stuff at Lowe's and made janky mounting brackets. And
Hey, you got it done.
Yeah, and it was like, hey, I actually want to start using my roof rack. Can you guys
make something better?
some brackets?
Right.
And I was like, oh yeah, this will be simple. And it ended up being basically 2 pieces, 4 holes in each piece. And I just had them laser cut out of 1/4-inch steel. They powder coated them and shipped them out. Four brackets powder coated, took 2 weeks. It was $50.
I mean, you can't. It's and see at that price, it's almost because that's one of the things that I do want is I want a CNC plasma. Yeah, because I've started.
Have you seen
like,
the Arc Droid?
Yeah,
Is that the one that Grindhard uses?
Yeah. You trace or what? You get the they have that version.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've seen that. I'm not. The price point is good.
Yeah.
That's the thing that makes it
The trace
appeal.
function for me, because like that was my whole thing. Is like, yeah, I can do CAD, but like,
Cardboard aided design?
it takes me 2 hours to draw it on a computer.
Yeah.
Then I got to wait a week for it to get shipped by somebody.
Right.
Or if I could just cut it out of cardboard or draw it on the sheet metal and trace it. 10 minutes and you have your part.
And that's where the guy's smart when he designed that.
Yeah.
And I think what is it like 25 or $3,000? It's not that bad.
It's not expensive
in comparison. But then the size is what gets you, right. It's limited. It's very limited on what size it can do.
Yeah. Which, like, I mean, if
you're probably not going to be cutting huge sheets though.
I think it's like 4x2 is its range.
Right.
Yeah.
But for independent small shops,
4 foot by 2 foot,
or even
it's huge though.
Even guys that just do stuff out of their shop, 4x2, it's
nothing
for a product. Like anybody that's trying to do small production, it doesn't even work. Like 4x8 is your kind of your standard. 5x10 is like your standard. That's your small table
for like the just like basic bracketry and stuff, like building engine mounts.
If you're building one-off mounts, one-off flat pieces in your shop, and that's the thing is the smallest CNC plasma
2x4
is like
from Langmar. However you pronounce it. I think it's like a 3x4. It's either 2x4 or 3x4.
See, I haven't looked in a while, but the last I saw was like a 4x4, and I'm like,
maybe it is 4x4.
That's 4x4 in my shop is half a bay. Which I don't have, right? Like it's like where like I physically could not put that plasma table in.
That's my problem. Is because I want a 4x8 at minimum, and I have nowhere to put it.
Yeah,
and I also have some other stuff, but I'm not going to talk about that I want to get because I have there's stuff I'm working on that I really want to do, and I've been putting it off, and I'm like, eventually I'm just going to be.
The iPad with the stylus though will make a huge difference when it comes to.
I gotta think about this then.
Yeah,
but I have stuff I want to do. Like I said, the 37 Ford, I want to do that. I gotta get some of these projects out of the way. We had thought about 1 ton in Angie's Jeep, and I'm like, no, I don't think I'm gonna do that.
Get them bolted now, though. That's the
like
when you want to get rid of that front 44. I know someone who'll buy it from you.
I will keep that in mind.
I know what you paid for it.
yeah. Well, you know what I paid for it, but then you also know how much is in it, though.
Yeah, no, I know.
It's Yukon gears. It's brand new e-locker. That was
used twice.
God.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So warehouse. I'm not gonna say which warehouse distributor. Call the warehouse distributor up. I was like, I want a factory e-locker. I just want an e-locker.
Oh, we talked about this at PJ's wedding. I think.
Did we?
Yeah.
And then I got it on Rock Auto for $200 less than what my wholesale price is through a WD.
Yeah.
And they're like, I told them this, and they're like, well, we don't compete with Rock Auto. I was like, well, no kidding, because you would lose. You would lose.
Yeah.
I got a factory e-locker for, I don't know, it was like $1,000.
Yeah.
How hard was that to wire up? Because doesn't that take a certain?
It's easy. No, because Dana Spicer offers a wiring kit.
Oh shit!
So
okay.
it's almost plug and play.
It's the TJs that you need all the fancy relays and shit to bypass it, because it's like if you want to basically use your factory switch, if you convert your TJ to an e-locker and you want to use the factory switches, you have to rewire those factory switches.
Yeah, no, this comes with switches.
Yeah.
Dana Spicer, you can order it.
Yep.
Switches, and then it comes, because it's universal, it comes with a plug for the 44, or it comes with a plug for a 60.
Yep.
Damn.
So you have, I still have the 60 plugs. I
Yeah.
threw them in a bin somewhere, but I still have the plugs from that factory wiring harness.
Yeah.
You just plug and play, wire it up, hook it up. It's got the relays, it's got the fuses, all that fun stuff.
We just quoted out the bolt-on Ultimate Dana 60s for JK for a customer, and called Dana, and they were like, "Oh yeah, just buy this wiring adapter, and the factory switches will now operate the 1-ton
That's
axles."
wild.
You just plug them right into the harness.
Is it JL?
JK.
JK.
No wiring needed.
Somebody's got some money.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Well, I got to pee, so you can either wrap it up or I can hang
wrap
up for
it
a
up.
second.
I mean,
We're going to wrap it up. Wait, how long have we been talking? 2.5 hours now?
Yeah.
Almost? Not quite that long.
2:15.
Yeah.
Okay, 2:15. But no, working a lot. Still have family shop, doing that side project for Shawnee Springs. Scratch hopefully coming up soon. Supposed to do some other stuff. Don't know if that's going to happen. Shout out to Nate with Full Wheel to Heel. I don't know if I'm supposed to talk about it, but he just had an operation, so he's healing up. If you don't know who 4 Wheel to Heel is, that's who Trail Hero always supports. They do a lot of stuff here on the East Coast. They're East Coast based.
Yep. I think he's out of Maryland.
He is out of Maryland, correct. Out of Maryland.
He's got that badass XJ, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yes, he does. He has a very built XJ.
We should have them on, actually.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah.
Put 'em on our list.
No. I'll hit him up after this. As a matter of fact.
Good. I can add 14 more people. to my list.
No.
For my scrambling
Go
yesterday.
support 4 Wheel to Heel. They help
100%.
wounded veterans.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Even if it's just a veteran that has post traumatic stress syndrome, and they just try to get their mind off stuff by taking them out wheeling. We bring them out to Trail Hero, and everything's paid for. Like the veterans that are that need to come out.
Yeah, it's actually one thing on my list of episodes ideas. I'm waiting. You would have been a good guy to talk about this with, is the mental health aspect of it, and how being off road and working on shit is great for, like, it's all mental health for me. At least.
Yeah.
Don't mind me cursing and throwing wrenches, but it's therapeutic.
It's actually good for my mental health. Yes,
That's what's weird. I have a customer that's watched me on like the big rig side.
Yeah.
And oh my God, I want to punch somebody in the face.
I hate big rig shit.
Right, well, it's just working.
In general.
No,
Just in general.
I don't know how to explain it, because when I'm doing like the old truck stuff, or I'm doing like
It's a completely different mindset.
and when I'm still getting paid, it's still a job. It's still work.
Yeah.
But when I'm not doing like the normal, I don't want to say no. I guess normal is wrong. I don't know how to explain it. But I'm not doing like the big rig or working on or even just a normal pickup.
We're not doing the production
style, production style stuff. And that versus the when I'm like lifting a Jeep, or I'm axle swap, whatever, or doing the sheet metal on a 54 Ford or whatever, stuff like that. Completely different. I've had guys see me. They're like, "Dude, you're so much different and happier." I'm like, "Yeah, I don't want to." Like I'm doing
it for the love of it.
Yeah, and especially when there was one night I was doing some sheet metal work on the truck, and everything was it was mint. It was coming together nicely. No, I don't need any Bondo. It just everything welded and smoothed out perfectly. I didn't realize 3.5 hours had passed by.
Yep.
Didn't hear my phone. Music was blaring. I didn't know nothing.
Yep.
I didn't know what was. Armageddon could have happened right then and there. Wouldn't have known.
Yeah.
It is. It's and when you get in that groove, man, it's therapeutic. And it can depend on what you're working on for some guys, like me.
Maybe when we have 4 Wheel Hill, and we'll make a point of having that conversation with them about the mental health stuff.
It is, because some people will see the veteran and they're like, "Well, what's wrong with him?" Like, man, you don't understand. They're suffering in a different way.
Yeah.
They need help. They need help too, and it's
all around
I've
us.
seen some of the dark sides of that, and it's if it helps them, hey, I'm all about it. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Donate to them. 4 Wheel to Heel. Check them out.
Yeah. Where can people find you?
So I mean, Instagram now. Like I'm not doing TikTok. I'm not. I'm not.
No, yeah, I don't.
I think the only people on TikTok are OnlyFans models.
Oh, God, don't.
They're on Instagram too. They're everyone on Instagram.
Yeah, but that's why, because they've all left TikTok.
Yeah.
I don't pay. I don't even know.
Yeah.
I don't.
What's your handle on Instagram?
ShopRat. Everything's ShopRat Metalworks. ShopRat Metalworks. ShopRat Metalworks on Facebook. I think I'm on LinkedIn. Is Abe Wine?
I think I follow you on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
I made one and I don't use it.
I should. I have one. I don't really.
It
use
isn't. It was Will Gentile that does a bunch of ads for like Warren. Like he's the photographer, videographer.
Yeah.
He's done stuff with KOH. He's done some really awesome stuff. He's really good at what he does. he put a post out literally like 3 or 4 days ago talking about LinkedIn, how it isn't what it used to be. And I was like, you're right, it isn't.
Yeah.
I had, I'm not going to say what big name it was, but I had somebody, a CEO reach out to me years ago when I was on there. I was like, oh, we want to do this, that, and the other. So it was a way for us to actually find each other.
Do business.
Yeah, we could like do business, and you don't have all the chatter that you had on. But now it's not like that.
Yeah.
Now
It's just another social media.
Yeah, it's another social media thing.
People are blogging left and right.
Yeah, it's hey, look at this. Hey, look at that. It's just
join my network.
Yeah, paid ads. This paid ads. It's the same nonsense, just a different platform and more quote unquote businessy.
Yeah. More
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, no, it's not.
No bikinis.
No,
that's really all it comes down to.
Yeah, like
It's sad.
Which is good.
Yeah,
I'm sick. I'm so sick of that crap,
bad.
dude.
It's the worst.
I'm so sick of that.
That's
YouTube video. We've had this conversation. YouTube videos and thumbnails, and why is that guy clicking on it? Well, it's clicking on it because anyway.
Yep. Yeah.
I'll start on a whole new rant. I'm gonna stop myself.
Me and Leah had that conversation. I told her I was like, she's doing it right. She's not doing none of this stuff, and
don't
was
because
a big part of her.
I will avoid you at meets.
Oh yeah.
And it sucks because I've had some of them that wanted to talk, and they're probably nice people, but I'm like, I don't know.
They're just in it for different reasons.
Yeah, I don't have time for your nonsense.
Yeah, there's a difference between, and I went on this rant last year.
I'm gonna go pee. If you guys are gonna keep going, I'm gonna go pee.
We wrap it up here, but I went on this rant at the beginning of this year during last year's Hammers, and I'm like, there's a point where you're in it to make money versus making money because you're in it.
Yeah.
And like I think the off-road industry is suffering from people get but I don't know. I think
the only reason the off-road industry, I'll agree with you, is because it's still
growing.
New. It's still growing.
Yeah.
It hasn't, the hot rod scene's been around for, almost 100 years now. So, whereas, you're right. The off-road scene is still growing. It's still kind of new-ish. It's explosion. It's still new.
And that's the thing is it's the new cool thing to do.
Yeah.
So everybody's jumping in it. And it's like, I'm not saying don't come, but like, get into it because you want to get into it. Don't get into it because it's the latest thing you can profit from.
And I agree with you because I've been a part of so many different, I guess, genres of the automotive industry.
Yeah.
Because that's, that shop at that time was popular and that's what they were paying me to do. The import scene came around, it blew up huge.
Yeah.
It's flipping huge.
There's always a trend.
You have a movie franchise off of it. Yeah. That's how Fast and Furious started.
I mean, that's why I'm into cars.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's the reality for a lot of it. So, I think we talked about this last time I was on.
Yeah.
I TIG welded Mitsubishi Evos.
Yeah.
We were racing.
Yep.
And I was TIG welding, which I love to do, and I was getting paid to go to racetracks. Not saying I was, the Evo is probably the better of some of the imports.
Yeah.
I wasn't a huge import when I'm still not, but you still had it there too, or then too, and I don't know.
I think that generation though is different in the sense that.
Don't look at me.
It's different because even I grew up in the magazine era, right? Or I should say the end of
pre YouTube,
right? Where there was
pre-social media.
Yeah, I don't want to say like a vetting process, but like if you weren't legitimate, you didn't get the attention. Like you could be in it, right? Like you might.
It wasn't gatekeeping either,
right?
Because if you're not who you say you were, like we're not going to listen to you. Now you can. There's so many social media influencers have gotten busted for being not what they seem.
All magazines did was showcase the cool shit,
right?
And not the personality. It showcased.
And
the
you had
vehicle.
to know somebody,
and
that was the only good thing about knowing somebody is because you were like you vetted almost,
right? And I see that being the one downside to the growth of the industry right now is. It's just people who are already popular doing it.
And they're jumping around from
which is bringing
specialty.
Yeah, which is bringing in I think a lot of the negative press that we're dealing with on trail closures and the idiots and things like that. And
I mean, look, I got a YouTube channel. Like I've documented this build, and then I haven't put the video together, but I have footage from Trail Hero, footage of doing Angie's, the front end on her Jeep, trying to get it ready for Trail Hero. It's time consuming.
It's so much work.
People do not. I had this wreck gear with Bronson.
Yeah. Follow.
Really, follow them. Good people. I got pictures. There's actually a big picture of him around here somewhere. Because we talk, like him and I, we all talk, and him and his wife, or now fiance, I should say, his fiance are
Is it in here?
Yeah, it might be in
under
there.
my monster water.
Yeah. There's where we were at Toga Falls, and she wanted a picture of her Jeep on Toga Falls.
Nice.
Oh, there. So, yeah.
Well, so we're not
Oh, there they are.
There they are, right there.
Yeah. Really nice people. And him and I were talking about this. When you haven't made it to that sponsorship level yet, because I haven't. Like, even though I've had, we talked about this. I'm done all the other stuff.
You were the host of a Discovery Channel show.
Yeah.
History
Channel.
History Channel, same thing.
Well, it's not.
So
same network.
it's been translated. It was
Same parent company.
No, it's not. No,
Really?
They're actually competition.
They hate each other.
Yeah.
Do they really?
Oh my god.
Discovery is the parent company
yeah.
for Discovery.
Yeah.
I thought Discovery was the parent company for History.
No. A&E.
What?
A&E Network is the parent company of History Channel. Hate each
wild.
other.
Okay.
That's bad
more-
juju.
the more you know.
Bad. Yeah, the more you know.
And I know people
We're
at
not
Discovery.
getting a TV show either, so you don't know that.
And that's the thing. Their executives flip back and forth between each other too.
They're all the same
Yeah,
people.
they'll hop around. Yeah. But
It's actually why Motor Trend is in the shitter.
yeah, well,
The guy running Motor Trend used to run TLC.
Yeah.
Oof. Fun fact.
Yeah.
Anyway.
There's
Side
multiple reasons, but we won't get into that.
It's another 3-hour podcast.
Yeah, I don't want to tick some of those. Some of those guys are legit, and I don't want to make them mad. But
It's funny you think they listen.
because everybody knows,
don't
we've talked
know.
about this. Everybody
I
knows
know.
somebody
Yeah.
within the
Yeah.
industry, and then
Yeah.
somehow it gets back to one of them, and then I don't want to.
I hope Virginia Tire and Auto listens to this podcast.
Fuck those guys.
Abe Wine did not say that. I don't know none of you. I don't care about
I don't
what's
care
going
if you
on
hired
here.
Mario Andretti for some ads.
Yeah, but
That was aggressive.
where were we going?
I'm sorry.
You guys, you started doing that, and now I've lost. Oh,
Personalities vetting, Discovery
vetting,
History,
yeah,
TV
Discovery
show
History.
magazines.
It's talking with. We're talking about YouTube.
Yeah.
I'm not in it. I'm not in it to
Yeah.
get paid because I'm not getting paid off YouTube right now.
Right.
I'm not. I'm still in that process of building. Talking with Rec Gear and them, him and his now fiance, and it's people don't realize how much work when you're doing everything
much
yourself.
That's the reason we still haven't done video yet. It's
Yeah.
because it's so much
time
work.
consuming.
Yeah.
So time consuming. Double the amount of time you take editing this.
Yeah. Well, and
It's not triple it.
Honestly, I would say probably even more than that.
So,
probably
all
more.
of the
More.
clips I've been doing on Instagram now have all been AI because I don't even have time to do 60-second Instagram clips. It's so much work.
So, and they have a daughter, so he knows how, he works like me. He works. You're trying to do the YouTube. You have family.
Yep.
So you're trying to, then he's involved in family because it just obviously makes it so much easier, but it's
Still.
like, I'm not like how Nate does with like dirt. I don't know how he does it.
Yeah.
Well, I know his wife has a job, and I know they're pretty good with their kids, and he incorporates them. But I don't know, and that's why he doesn't have a full time job anymore.
Yeah.
Like
You can't. You
can't.
Yeah, he's full time.
It is a
full time
full-time
YouTube
job, yeah.
to do what he does.
Yeah.
Because it's so, oh my gosh, it's so time, and that's the reason I'll put out more content.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We're talking about this 24 hours of Appalachia. We're talking about putting out a video, and I'm like, I know how to do it.
Recording's one thing,
It's just the time.
Well, but even
and even that's time consuming.
I was gonna say that because it takes away from it. Like we've always said it where like if we just had somebody follow us around
and
to
it's hard to
film it,
find because I've thought about doing the same thing.
but it's expensive. Right?
is,
It's not
yeah.
that it's hard to find
because we produce the content. It's just
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah,
recording the content.
Yeah. If somebody came to the shop 8 hours a day, filmed it, edited it, and put out a 20-minute video every week,
thousands of dollars. So I know.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
the
yeah.
people that do the stuff for Trail Hero, which is was it Mad Lad or Mad Lab
productions or
Productions or something like that. And they do a lot of. They're actually out of the East Coast. They're like North Carolina, South Carolina.
Yeah.
Great guys. I like
Yeah.
them. Got another problem with them. And I know the people that were doing it before them. It's expensive.
Yeah.
Just for
So-
blow. Like when you're in the shop, 'cause, you have a shop. When you're trying to set up a shot to do something like that,
It's 15 minutes.
it's an extra 15, 20 minutes to do the thing. Where you have something that's going to be an 8-hour job and it just turned into a 15-hour job.
Yeah.
So it takes 2 days to do a 1-day job now.
And that's not even editing.
Yeah, it's not even
Yeah.
editing.
Yeah.
That's before. That's just
Yeah.
trying to capture it. That's
Yeah.
not editing and making
Yeah.
sure audio was good. Oh shit! Now I got to do what they call ADR because
Yeah.
the audio wasn't clear. So now I got to go in and track over it.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah.
I don't have time for that. I work a normal, and
Yeah.
I have
Well,
work to do.
I also like to go home and not have to work when I get home.
Yeah.
That doesn't bother me.
Yeah. Well, you probably have the same problem I do where like I started filming myself working on the YJ right after the baby was
like,
born.
God, he's fat.
Well, that's
I have that problem too. Don't worry.
but I would film like 3 things and then I would just go on to the next thing, and like before I realized it, like I got both heads in the intake bolted back on the engine, and
you
I
forgot
never
to film
I forgot
half of it.
I forgot to record
Yeah,
half of it.
yeah.
The last thing I recorded was me scotchboarding the top of a piston.
Well-
and I'm like, fuck, I just lost like 2 videos worth of content.
Yeah, and I've been documenting that 54 build,
Yeah.
and the company wants that, and they're okay with me doing a lot of it. The problem is the same thing where I know I got a timeline I'm trying to hit.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, do I take the time to set this shot up and film everything?
You did a good job with Scratch in Town, though.
Well, I had help. I actually had help with that. They lent me their social media person.
Oh, shit.
Just so I could get some of that
Shawnee
footage.
Springs
Yeah,
did?
yeah. They
Yeah.
have their own because they have 2 storefronts. They have the factory.
Yeah.
They have the farms. They have Whitaker Farms now, where because they're growing so much of their own produce. So they were like, well, they have a social media person. I'm like, hey, because one of their head guys is our age, and I'm like, hey, buddy,
Yeah.
can I like borrow this person? They're like, yeah, cool, for that week since
Yeah.
he's in town. Sure, why not? That was the only reason I got as much as I did out of that.
Yeah.
Because the first 2 days I was doing all of it, and I was like, I'm not getting anything done. This isn't going to work. And I told him, I was like, look, if you want both of us working and utilizing this time properly
Yeah.
while he's here, I was like, can you lend? Yeah. So that's what we did. That's how we got it.
Yep.
And that's what I'm saying. It's great when if I had somebody to do that, if I could figure out a way to, if YouTube was paying me, I probably wouldn't take the money myself. I would invest it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And paying somebody to document it.
Yep.
Even if I still had to do the editing, at least I could, I wouldn't have to. I could just keep working.
Yeah. We've joked we have a standing job posting for an unpaid intern to follow us around with a camera.
Yeah.
Like if your life sucks and you want to just be a bum,
Hi, my name is Greg. I am trying to get off drugs. If you help me buy these magazines, I will. Yeah.
yeah, pretty much.
What was it, Office Space or whatever it was?
Yeah, it's I know I have when I graduated school and moved out to Colorado, I was working at the car museum. The guy that was my boss, he got into TV production and stuff. He's got a couple projects that have been like sold to Amazon or whatever else, and he's everything came to a grinding halt with COVID. He just hasn't picked it back up. But he was the one that told me, and this was 5 years ago, if you want to start a TV show or film anything, it's $30,000 per episode.
Yeah. Quality
Yeah.
production.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why Stacey David, like most people, like Stacey David's all in house. He owns all that.
Yeah.
Same
Ian
with
Johnson.
Ian Johnson does the same thing.
Yeah, Ian Johnson does the same
Yep.
thing, but Stacey is Rattle. I know his production company is Rattle Trap.
Yeah.
Owns Rattle Trap, and that's what they've all went to because
Yeah. They have
to.
Yeah, then they license it back to whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that's how you make money doing TV is you take your $30,000 episode and you sell the rights to play it.
Right.
Yeah.
Versus doing it for Discovery or History or whoever else.
Now that's like History still technically owns the rights to Truck Night.
Yeah.
They sold their streaming rights in a package deal, and Discovery actually owns our streaming rights.
Wild. That's why I was confused.
Yeah, and I have no kickbacks on this. That's why I'm
sucks.
still broke. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all in the deal. And of course, when
Do you get the analytics off of it? Can you use
no, I don't. Unless I know somebody, which people, because like I said earlier, those people flip back and forth,
Yeah.
and it's hard to keep up with some of them.
Yeah.
And then you got the ones that are still don't like you because you don't agree with their stuff.
Yeah.
We'll say.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to see how a show like that does like 3-4 years later. See if it's still getting the views and stuff on it.
I can tell you that it's still available on Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't doing enough there, it wouldn't be there because they've changed how they do business
Yep.
now. And it's still on Hulu. You can still get it through Hulu. Every once in a while, I know that I'll know when a network overseas has picked it up again because I'll start getting random friend requests and random ads from like foreign countries of like, we've been translated in like 3 or 4 different languages.
Wow, I'd like to hear your
Yeah.
voice translated in like, I don't know, Chinese.
I think last episode
Yeah.
I talked about. I was like,
Yeah.
Portuguese. I sound sexy because the guy that did my voiceovers actually found me and messaged me. He was like, "Hey man,
that's
I'm
pretty
the one
cool.
that did it." And I'm like, "Cool, like
Awesome.
Great.
yeah, it was wild."
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So, but God only knows how much they spent to do that.
Oh, sure.
Where if
Oh,
you're,
yeah.
if you're a small shop or a
Yeah.
small entity like us,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, I can't afford to do that. I ain't got 30 G's to throw at every
No.
episode.
That's why I'm
I
trying,
wish
yeah.
I had the money to start my own production
yeah.
company.
I don't have $500 to buy a GoPro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
feel
Yeah, actually one of I don't have it here. We'll see it later. But yeah, a GoPro and an iPhone 12 or something that I picked up. Somebody was like, I don't need the phone anymore. I'm like, sweet.
I do.
Yeah. Shoots 4K. What's up?
Yep. Actually, I do have I think it's a 12.
The cheapest. So yeah, if you have a 12 like a Pro, it has the 3 whatever. That so this is my personal opinion, and like a cheap gimbal, like a I don't know, like
we were just talking about that.
Like a DJI gimbal. That's what I think. That's the one I got because it was the cheapest. It was on sale at the time. That and their mics. It's still almost $1,000 in that setup. It's like $300. You know, if you get the phone where phone's $1,000.
Well, everyone already has a phone.
But you already have the phone. That's my point. You already have the phone because you need it.
Yeah. We got decent Bluetooth mics.
Yeah,
we did get that.
$29 on Amazon. I would call them.
They sound good.
Yeah. The DJI setup I think was like another $300, and then their gimbal at the time was $300. So there's easily $1,000.
Yeah.
But it gets you going.
Yeah.
Which really, in the grand scheme of things, is a truck. It's a pretty small investment.
We ruined an $80,000 camera on truck night. One camera was $80,000, and we ruined it.
Yeah.
We destroyed it.
And let me guess, they just pulled the second one right out of the van and went about their day.
They did the insurance claim on the camera, then they pulled the second one out. Yeah. So it's
Different
it's
world.
rough. Different world. Yeah. Completely different.
All right. Well,
we're small fries.
We'll wrap it up.
Yeah.
For the
Let's go
third
see
time.
your cool shit.
Yeah. Let's go see cool stuff. Yeah. I'm gonna show you guys some secret stuff.
Follow him. Shop Metal Ratworks. Shop.
Try one more time.
Wow.
This
is
why we can't do TV.
No, TV's easier because then we just cut it and ADR over.
That's true. There's no film anymore.
Yeah.
Everything's digital.
Yeah, everything's
Thank God.
digital. We can AI tweak your face.
That's fine.
It's so weird. What
I just watched the new Indiana Jones, and that was fucking wild. The 80s Harrison Ford.
Oh, who looks like he's 50.
No, the 80s Harrison Ford who looks like he's 30.
That's so dumb.
I guess 80s Harry because he is in his 80s right now.
But isn't that what part of that strike was about? Is like they don't own their future image or their AI image. It's so crazy. Okay.
That would bother me.
Where can people find you? We already wrapped up once.
Shop Rat Metalworks. Shop Rat Metalworks is everything. Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn's pretty much all I'm on, and YouTube. Oh, YouTube obviously. Yeah, YouTube, I've been working on YouTube stuff, but I don't know. I don't know if it's good enough or people really want to see me enough to be on Patreon or anything like that. Like all these people are doing subscriptions. I don't know.
See the problem,
but that's how you make money. If you want to do it, that's how you make money doing it.
Have to do the content at that point.
Yeah.
If you're taking money from people, you have to do
the content.
Yeah.
And I'm not full time and don't make content.
Yeah.
I'm a builder that occasionally documents my content.
Yeah.
It's us.
Yeah.
No, but we never document our
content.
We document in audio.
Content. Yeah.
All right. You guys know where to find us.
Metalworks. That's where I'm at. Full Wheel to Heel, Trail Hero. Those are the people that support me, and I know they support the industry, so you support them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Always
support the people that support us. You guys know where to find us. DirtNerds Off-Road, The Dirt Drive, DirtNerds Motors, DirtNerdsOffroad.com, YouTube, DirtNerds Off-Road. I think that's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Welcome to Cross Junction.
Well, let's go see all your cool projects.
Cool stuff that I'm probably never going to finish.
All right.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Bye.